I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event.
Guess what time it is? My time. You can check your iPhone. Better say it's our time.
With your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Jason Swain here. Ben McKee, 850 AM, 100.9 FM, Rocky Top Sports. Hope you are having a great morning. 3 minutes past the top of the hour. Lots to get to today. Thank you for checking us out here on Swain Event TV, Periscope, Facebook, and on YouTube. The free Swain Event app there and available on iTunes and Google Play. SwainEvent.com is where you can stream the show from your desktop or laptop there on the internet. And if you're a local, again, 850 AM, 100.9 FM, Rocky Top Sports. Benjamin, good morning.
Good morning, sir. What is the buzz, Fuzz?
I don't know what that means, to be honest.
I don't either, but I
You trying to say I need to shave? Or,
no. I'm actually stealing it from Le'Veon Bell. He in his interaction with Keenan Allen, you mentioned this in for what, yesterday or the day before, and he mentioned it's all good, buzz fuzz or something like that, and I don't know, I kind of like it. It's catchy, so I think that's my new saying. What's the buzz, Fuzz?
Did you encounter...
Hopefully it does not mean anything that I don't need to be referring to.
Good, you're right about that. Did you encounter some bees on the way inside the house today, or what? You know, it's springtime, and so this is the good thing about spring. The weather's nice. The bad thing is, like, every time you turn around, there's like a bee buzzing near your ear.
Yeah.
So
I haven't encountered any bees. Now, over the weekend when I was in Huntsville, I encountered a lot of wasps, and I despise wasps. They freak me out. Like, I should not be scared of them, but I am, and I am not too little of a man to admit it.
Wait a minute. So you give me crap about a peacock?
I don't care, dude. I don't want to get stung by a wasp. A peacock is not going to hurt you.
Got you.
A wasp. Well, I have had bad experiences with wasps in the past. No.
You never got jumped by?
I mean, by a singular wasp, yes. They hurt, man. Those red ones. Ooh,
oh yeah, they hurt, but they die immediately though.
They do, and I thought those were bumblebees. Wasps stay alive, don't they? I know bees. Once bees sting you, they die. Are wasps the same way?
I think so. I think they die once they sting you.
Let me check the Swain Event Scientific Research Department.
Yeah.
The worst one. Have you ever been stung by a hornet?
Dude, let me tell you something. Let me just share something with you, Ben. When I've gotten stung, I'm not someone who says, "Wait a minute, let me check out what species and what kind of bee this is that just stung me. Let me do my research, and maybe I can catch him and save him as a pet. No, man.
Wasps do not die after stinging because their stingers are very finely barbed, only visible under high magnification. But honeybees, they do.
Okay.
Hornets and wasps do not die. I remember my grandpa owned a farm. It wasn't really a farm. It was just a plot of land, and we called it the farm.
Okay.
That was what we called it.
Okay.
There weren't actually animals that we owned on the farm. And it was south of Paris, Tennessee. And I was mowing some grass. I went around this one tree, and there was a hornet's nest in there. Thankfully, the nest did not jump me, but there was one. I guess it was their soldier, their guardian. Dude, it got me on the back of the neck. I thought I was dying.
Get him.
10-year-old Ben, or 12-year-old, however old I was not a fan of hornets, wasps, bees from that day on.
Get him. Get him. Oh, man. 865-200-5503, B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline. I like it when the players talk to the media. You want to sell the orange and white game, that's who you put in front of the microphone. And some of the players talked, and I think the most important player to this football team talked, and that is Jared Garantano. He's been here, what is this, his 4th year here?
Mm-hmm.
He should be talking to the media every time there's media availability.
Mm-hmm.
He is the leader. He's the face of this program. And I'm glad that he is now getting opportunities to speak to the media and representing the Tennessee brand. There's one thing that the previous coach said that was 100% true, and that is when you are the quarterback at Tennessee, man, you are a brand, and you are the face of the program. And there's only so much that a program can do to protect you and hide you, but man, when you're a 3-year player, 4-year player, and you are entering your 2nd year being a starter, it's time for you to talk. It's time for you to talk, represent your team, and be that leader. And so Jared's doing that, and he's doing a really good job of it so far. If you want to get people in the seats at the orange and white game, this is how you do it. Yesterday after the show, I was doing some, I guess you can call it research, but I was trying to find out what gets big numbers at the spring game. And we had a whole conversation about it yesterday about Pruitt wanting people to come to the spring game, which is what a coach should say and should want. He should want people to come to the spring game, and he honestly shouldn't have to say it. But we are where we are over the last couple of years, and folks have emotionally invested and not gotten a return. We get it, all right? But I was looking at numbers like, man, what gets big crowds at the Tennessee game? Is it winning? I mean, we see these dips in attendance. We see these spikes in attendance over the last couple of years, and Ben and I were talking about this after the show. Attendance at the spring game just became like a big deal. It became a big deal. You look at Nebraska last year, and Nebraska had more people at their spring game than anybody else in the country. Now, these numbers are reported by the school, and we know how Tennessee gets down, where sometimes it looks like it's, 70,000, 80,000 people at the game, and they report 273,000 in attendance this week. And we know it's just come on, we just know those numbers are a little bit inflated. But man, I start really wondering, okay, man, what gets people there? Is it winning? Well, Tennessee won the national championship in 98. In 98, they won the national championship. I mean, you would think that the next year, the place would be packed. The 99 spring game had 15,000 people. The year before, there was 12,000 people.
I promise you, Clemson won't have 15,000 people at its spring game.
Yeah. Change in times.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can definitely say that, change in times. The 1997 spring game had 18,000. So there was actually a decrease in numbers by 6,000. Maybe because Peyton wasn't there anymore. But during this time, man, Tennessee not only competed in the SEC championship, but they won the SEC championship during that time. But those numbers were only in the teens. So the numbers were in the teens in 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004. The numbers hit 20,000 after the 2004 season, where we competed in the SEC championship game and lost to Auburn. We had a strong finish in the bowl game. And 2005 was the year that Tennessee was preseason ranked number 2. That spring, the numbers of the attendance, 23,475. After a disappointing year, the next year's spring game in 2006 dropped to 15,000. In 2007, the team competes for an SEC championship, losing to LSU. 2008 spring, right after that season of competing in the SEC championship game, the numbers spike again, and it goes to 28,000. So Tennessee has only been to the SEC championship game 4 times and won 2 of those. That was in 97 and 98.
It's crazy to think Tennessee's only been to the SEC championship game 4 times.
Yeah, it is what it is.
For as storied of a program as Tennessee has, that's a low number.
Yeah, we know what happened. So 4 times Tennessee went to the SEC championship game. 2 times the numbers really spiked. Okay, 9,000 from 04 to 05, and then 11,000 from 07 to 08. Now here's where we start getting to the serious numbers. It was after a coaching change. So in 2008, the spring game, those numbers about roughly 29,000. Lane Kiffin was brought in, and the numbers from the spring game went from 29,000 to 51,000 people. Why? Because of the Lane train, and people were excited about a new coach. Apathy had set in during at the end of Coach Fulmer's time, and there was a lot of excitement surrounding the program in 2009. Lane Kiffin leaves. Derek Dooley is hired. The 2010 spring game went from 51,000 to roughly 36,000. After the 2010 season, the 2011 spring game, 29,000. 2012 spring game. This was Derek Dooley's last year, 35,000. Here is another spike because there was a coaching change. So Derek Dooley's last year, 35,000 people in the spring game. Butch Jones' first year, 61,000 people at the spring game. So you look at the top 5 attended spring games in Tennessee history. Number 1, 73,000 people. That was after the 1985 Sugar Bowl, the Sugar Vols, right? Against Miami, being an underdog and beating them down. The second most attended spring game is 2014 under Butch Jones. The third, 2018, last year, Jeremy Pruitt, first year coach. 2015, Butch Jones, 63,000. And then the 5th most attended spring game, 2013, which is Butch Jones' first year. So what does that tell you? It tell you numbers spike. To me, it tells me numbers spike and coaching changes. We live in a time now where you have social media, marketing department understand the importance of promoting the spring game. It's a big deal because you use it to recruit. Whereas back when Tennessee was winning and you were in the teens, you didn't really use the spring game numbers to recruit. Do you want to play in the NFL? Do you want to catch passes from Peyton Manning and play in the NFL? That was the recruiting pitch. Now it's you got to promote spring game numbers. Hey, Trey, or hey, Jimmy, how would you feel if on your visit you can stand in the stadium with 80,000 people at a spring game in a meaningless football game? Imagine it being that way at a home game, but add another 15 to 20,000 people. That somehow is sellable with recruiting now. So we've seen Tennessee be super successful, but the spring numbers not be there. But we've seen spring numbers be there and jump in large numbers when there's a coaching change. Had big numbers last year. New coach, Jeremy Pruitt. What are we going to see this year? What is it going to take to break 73,801, which is Tennessee's all-time record, and that was accomplished after the Sugar Bowl in 1985. This is the 1986 spring game.
How many were in attendance for the 16 spring game, the one going into the season we thought Tennessee was going to make it to Atlanta?
Excuse me. Correction. That was 2016 spring game is actually third on the list. So we got to bump down to 2013 to 6, and 2016 was the third most attended spring game,
which was
67,027. 67-27.
My initial answer is that Tennessee will break the 73,000 heading into a season where it appears Jeremy Pruitt can get Tennessee to Atlanta to the playoffs. But then you look at it, Butch Jones and Josh Dobbs had a real chance to get Tennessee to Atlanta to the playoff, and they only had 67,000. And that was with a bunch of props and events set up in conjunction with the game.
Check this out. 2014, that was Jalen Hurd's freshman year where he was an early enrollee.
He wasn't the only early enrollee either. Ethan Wolf.
There's a bunch of them.
Von Pearson. Von Pearson came after.
I think Derek Barnett was there early. No, he wasn't.
He wasn't early. He came in over the summer.
He wasn't. No, Hurd was. I know that for sure. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of excitement around the freshmen.
Yeah, I think in order for Tennessee to break that 73,000, the football team will have to be in a position that the basketball team just got done being in the sense of, okay, the year before they win an SEC title, and then a lot of those same guys are coming back and they're expected to do even more damage within college football, win another SEC title, and probably make the playoffs. I think if you can kind of have that situation happening, you'll blow past the 73,000.
Yep. Maybe part of the promotion is inviting Jordan Rodgers of the SEC Network, former Vanderbilt quarterback, inviting him, let him play with Smokey, letting him talk to Jeremy Pruitt. Maybe that'll do it. Maybe that'll get people fired up to come to the spring game. We'll discuss that coming up next.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Top 100 Barbecue Restaurant Dead End BBQ is the best place in Knoxville to scratch your barbecue itch. With new specials and a new menu, there is something for everyone. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, try the Smokehouse Stew. Thursday through Sunday, the Hillbilly Chili is where it's at. Don't forget the half-price wings on Tuesdays from 4 to 8 p.m. and the salmon plate on Friday. The people spoke and Dead End listened, adding Dead End Society favorites like the Bernie Mac, Randall's Kitchen Sink Burrito, and the Barbecue Cheddar Meatloaf to the menu full time. Whether it's a game day or any day, at Dead End BBQ, the mouth-watering barbecue search is over.
Do you want a custom themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? If so, then call me, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. I take a no-nonsense approach to the real estate transaction. No fluff, just facts. Having lived and worked in the Knoxville area for 19 years, I am very familiar with the local real estate landscape and am ready to help you get the most money for your property with the least amount of hassle in the shortest amount of time. No one likes for their home to sit on the market for months at a time. If a straightforward approach to your real estate needs is what you prefer, then give me a call. Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty at 865-694-5904 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man.
I remember it like it was yesterday. Greg McElroy came to campus, hung out with the previous head coach at a breakfast spot, and was sold on Tennessee doing some big things that season. Little did he know was that Tennessee did not do one-on-ones or 707 during the summer.
I remember a teammate of Greg McElroy's on the SEC network, Booger McFarland, not being as into Tennessee as Mr. McElroy was.
No.
Booger knew.
No. And I think when Greg found that out, he softened his stance on Tennessee because he understands how important that is. And it was all good, though, when Greg came on campus. It wasn't like a big deal. Even though he played quarterback at Alabama, you understand that these SEC network personalities, these analysts, they played somewhere, okay? But you judge them on the job that they do. If they call it like they see it, they do a really good job analyzing the game, then that's all that matters. Everyone has an allegiance somewhere. Like Candace Parker, she's on TNT, and she's doing a really good job analyzing the game. Yes, she played at Tennessee, and yes, she should want Tennessee to win. Charles Barkley played at Auburn. He should want Auburn to win, and I think it's funny that they have the Auburn flags there and the pom poms. I think that's really funny, as long as he is right in his commentary as long as he does his research, who cares if he cheers for Auburn? He's supposed to. He's supposed to.
Kenny Smith, North Carolina.
He's supposed to cheer for North Carolina. But all that matters is that they call a spade a spade. That's all that matters to me. Because if I'm on the SEC network, I'm going to cheer for Tennessee. There's no doubt about it. But I'm not going to get on there and say that Tennessee is going to beat a team that we're not going to beat. Like, I'm going to do my job. I'm going to have loyalty in my paycheck. I'm going to have loyalty to the profession. I'm not going to sound like an idiot because I'm biased. So you still have a job to do. Marcus Spears, he's an LSU guy. Cool, man. I'm actually more impressed that these guys are prideful in their schools than trying to forget where they came from. But you still can call a spade a spade. Jordan Rodgers.
I'm not the biggest Jordan Rodgers guy. I think he does great work on television. I truly think he does. I think he analyzes games as good as anybody in the college football world. Watching him and Cole Kubelik and Tom Hart, they're the top crew on the SEC network that get the Saturday night primetime game. Jordan Rodgers does a phenomenal job of breaking down X's and O's and really does a great job of explaining the play of the quarterback. But I just can't get out all those tweets that he used to send about Tennessee from my memory.
Why does it feel so much different with Jordan Rodgers than anybody else? I mean, we went up against Aaron Murray, Greg McElroy, Tim Tebow. We've played against a lot of guys who are now analysts, who now work for the media and talk SEC football. Why does it feel different with Jordan Rodgers? Here's his tweet. They sent Jordan Rodgers, by the way, to hang out with Jeremy Pruitt. His tweet yesterday. The more and more I am around Jeremy Pruitt in Tennessee, the more I believe they are building something special. Continues to add elite coaches, elite recruits, and is a no BS ball coach at heart that is a true grinder. Y'all know me. Y'all know that I try to like everybody. And I try to love up on everybody. And I like Jordan Rodgers. You know, I like you said, his commentary. I do. But I cannot get out of my head when he was a player and a little bit of the time when he was done. Before he joined the SEC network, dude, how over the top disrespectful he was to Tennessee football. And he's supposed to be disrespectful. Let's not get it twisted, because he played for an inferior program. And that inferior program has had success over Tennessee. Let's not get that twisted. But he played for the inferior program, and you know that complex that comes with that. You're turning upside down the power T. All the time you're thinking about Tennessee. You hate Tennessee because you have to walk down the street of your own campus, go into a store, and there's Tennessee stuff. You live in Big Orange country. You do. And if I'm a Vanderbilt fan or a Vanderbilt player, I wouldn't like that either. I would hate that. Man, this is Vanderbilt. This is West End. You got people walking around here with all this orange on. And there's not one, not two, probably more, but I know of two right now, videos of Jordan Rodgers, I mean, just laying into Tennessee. And the one I saw yesterday kind of circulating on social media was the one of him walking in a store with a cart, grabbing some Tennessee paper plates and just simply throwing them in a trash can. Which is pretty funny. You think about it, that someone would do that. But if you're a Tennessee fan, you don't find any laughter in that at all, right?
No.
There's nothing funny about that. Disrespectful.
I respect his opinion on football. I can't stand him.
But it's hard. It's hard because we've seen those videos and like, you wonder how genuine it is. You wonder if he really means it. Like it's really tough. And I don't know if that does anything to help promoting the spring game, but it's just weird. Let's get to Jay. Let's get to DR Vol before we get to around the SEC. Jay, good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm good, man. How are you, Jay?
I'm fine.
Good.
I'm ready for football.
Ben is too.
We all are. I don't think there's a Tennessee fan out there that isn't ready for Tennessee football.
I think we're going to have a good season.
Should be better than last year's.
That's what we can put our money on that.
It can't get any worse.
Oh, it can.
Well, it can, but I don't think it will.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right, Jay, thanks. Let's get to DR Vol. DR Vol, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
What's up?
I did not realize those videos were old videos. I probably need to scrub my Twitter now. I thought that was just posted yesterday about Jordan Rodgers.
No, those were like fresh off his playing days, which I believe he played in 2011, 2012. He was a JUCO guy.
Yeah, he came. Remember he came back to Knoxville as a spectator, and I think that's what happened when he was back in Knoxville as a spectator like a year or two after playing.
I actually sat behind him. Behind him at the 2014 Tennessee Vanderbilt game. It was weird. It was him and like their old kicker that was really good. Like, what was the guy, Kerry Spear or something like that?
Dude, I barely know our kickers.
I mean, I keep up with SEC football, so I know most of the kickers and punters just because I'm always reading about SEC football, and he was one of the better ones in the league. He played in the NFL for a couple of years, so that's why I know that name.
I'm smarter than you.
No, you're making fun of me for knowing the kicker at Vanderbilt.
No, I'm making fun of myself for not knowing the kicker. I don't know our kickers.
Well, I don't think you have to make fun of yourself because I think most Tennessee fans would compliment you for not knowing the kicker at Vanderbilt. If anything, they're going to make fun of me for knowing the kicker at Vanderbilt.
I'm supposed to be the expert. I'm sorry. I don't.
Well, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right, so it's not like I completely know who he is either.
Go ahead, Dion.
Guys, you know how people do drugs, stay away from reality, kind of like Georgia linebackers does weed to stay away from reality. That was Tennessee basketball for me, and I was brought back down to reality when I was trying to talk crap to Jordan Rodgers. I'm like, crap, I can't. They kicked our teeth in for 3 years.
You can't. Even if you did, he can't really say anything back that's too over the top because he's supposed to be, like, he's supposed to dial it down a little bit because he works for SEC Network.
Frustrating. And guys, I've always been the guy. I like my Wild Wings, I guess you say, with the bone, and I guess now our basketball team's boneless, so I'm a little upset this morning.
The hope is not over. There's still hope. It may be slim, but there's still hope.
Yeah, we can still be in the bone zone next year. There's a chance.
As long as there's a chance, as what's his face, Jim Carrey said.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Ben, where's your grandpa's farm at? I actually live south of Paris.
That would be. It's so it's like halfway. If you're driving towards Dover, it's like that's the exit. It's like out in the middle of nowhere, so I don't know. Maybe my mom will text me here in a minute and tell me what town it is near, but it's not really near a town, so it's kind of hard for me to describe. My best description is halfway between Paris Landing and Dover. You turn right and you just drive a ways.
I was actually in Dover Monday, so I probably went by it.
I hope you went the speed limit because if you go 1 mile over the speed limit in Dover, Tennessee, you will get a ticket.
Oh, they got you. They're going to get you a mace and everything. They're over the top there. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm going to hang up and listen to the show. I enjoy it.
Let me make a note. Jason,
thanks, Diarval.
Jason, do not go to Dover.
Do not.
No shot.
35 miles an hour, and if you go 36 through the town, they pull you over. Remember when CP got leveled by the Vanderbilt kicker?
Cordell Patterson.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Well, That was the kicker that leveled him.
That was the guy who's hanging out with Jordan Rogers?
Yes, at the Tennessee game that I was watching.
That was a 2012 game.
You were at this game.
Unfortunately.
Ooh. Yeah, that's him. And I think he plays for the Eagles now, or he did at one point, and the Browns. So that is why. That is my explanation before people make fun of me for knowing the Vanderbilt kicker.
This is just weird. Like, I'm looking at the Tennessee football Twitter account, and Jordan Rogers and Pruitt hanging out, and I see Jordan Rogers with Smokey, and Smokey's like, dude, get up off of me, man.
Yeah, why are we allowing Jordan Rogers to take care of Smokey? Be responsible for holding Smokey's leash.
Smokey is so uncomfortable right now.
He looked happy when Jeremy Pruitt was holding him, taking care of him.
Get up off of me, man. Get up off of me. His tail was tucked. His tail wasn't wagging. He was side-eyeing. He just was uncomfortable. Where's his tail in this picture?
Nah,
look, it's tucked.
He's
nervous.
It probably is tucked.
It's animal cruelty.
But my question to you is, how can you tell if a dog's tail is wagging in a picture?
Because it'll be up.
It'll be a little blurry?
No, because the tail, you would see the tail.
Well, I know that, but
you can't see.
It could just be up and stiff.
Ben, phrasing.
Mature minds. We need mature minds.
Phrasing, Ben.
Yeah, that was bad phrasing.
Phrasing. 865-200-5503, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling cause you'll know that you're in love.
It's freezing in here, Mary. What's wrong with your heater? The repairman can't get here till next week. Sugar, you've got the wrong guy. My guy is fast and has free heating service calls when he does the repair.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Hiller. Take advantage of a free service call with any repair.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
We're here with Dr. Mike Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, or instability, Achilles tendonitis, golfers, or tennis elbow, do what I did and give them a call.
Yeah, Jason, we specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged ligaments, tendons, and joints, including things like rotator cuff injuries, knee instability, elbow problems, as well as foot problems like plantar fasciitis, Achilles, things of that nature, by injecting with stem cells and what's called PRP, or platelet-rich plasma. And this form of treatment we do under ultrasound, so we know we have our target. And it also stimulates the body's own reparative process, and this allows for the healing of damaged tissue. And as you well know, numerous professional and collegiate athletes, guys like Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, and even yourself with your ankle injury, have been using this form of treatment for years. And so we offer that same type of treatment here in East Tennessee.
Visit them on the web at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in regenerative therapy.
Craving flavors that don't take hours in the kitchen? Mrs. Grissom's cheese spreads and chicken salads are the perfect go-to. Ready-to-eat meals and snacks found in the meat or dairy section at your local grocery store. Whether you crave the classic Mrs. Grissom's pimento cheese or the gluten-free select varieties like the cranberry pecan chicken salad, enjoy small-town flavor in every bite. Select the best. Select Mrs. Grissom's.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event. Around the SEC, powered by 42nd Street Marketing, your game-winning play call for design, marketing, and branding.
Folks, this around the SEC today is going to be bittersweet for Tennessee fans. Ben, let's get to it, my friend.
It is bittersweet because Jordan Bone has declared for the NBA draft with the intention on remaining in the draft. He told Evan Daniels of 24/7 Sports, you know that there's always a chance that I come back, but honestly, if I put myself in a position to go, then I'm going all in. I feel like I have proven myself to be one of the better point guards in the country. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and not many people can say that they're in this position. I'm extremely blessed to be in my position, but if the opportunity is there to take, then I'm going to take it. Bone declares for the draft following a junior season in which he averaged 13.5 points per game, 5.8 assists, 3.2 rebounds. He shot 46% from the field, 35% from three, and helped guide Tennessee to a 31-6 record and a Sweet 16. He also took to Twitter and had a video that I will pull up in just a moment and share that. But in that video, he says, or he thanks Tennessee fans and said that your incredible support this season meant the absolute world to me and my teammates. It was a very special year, and you played a major role in making it so much fun. Wearing the Tennessee uniform is an incredible honor and something I honestly cherish. Now, if you read the 24/7 article, it appears that as long as he does not despise the feedback that he receives from NBA executives, scouts, front office people, he's gone. I mean, any glimmer of hope of being drafted, it sounds like he's gone. And according to the 24/7 article, if you read those quotes, if you kind of listen to the video he posted to Twitter, it doesn't sound as though he is 100% gone. It sounds like he is more open to coming back. Did you catch that same vibe?
Yeah, I did. No, I think there's a small possibility by judging from the video.
And here I've got.
You be the judge. You be the judge. This is Jordan Bone. He posted this on his Twitter, and this is him addressing Vol Nation.
Vol Nation, I want to begin by saying thank you. Your incredible support this season meant the absolute world to me and my teammates. It was a very special year, and you played a major role in making it so much fun. Wearing the Tennessee uniform is an incredible honor for me and something I honestly cherish. I've grown so much, personally and athletically, these last 3 years. I'm now blessed to have the opportunity to enter the 2019 NBA Draft, showcase my abilities for NBA personnel, and receive valuable feedback that will help me to continue to develop. I plan to make the most of this opportunity and use the experience and feedback to make the most informed decision possible about my basketball future. I'm going to lean on my family as well as Coach Barnes and the staff here at Tennessee through these next steps. We're all in this together. I know I'll have the support of Tennessee fans everywhere as we work through this process. Go Vols, and God bless.
What he should do is have every intention of staying in the draft and work like that. His mindset should be going 100 miles per hour to the NBA. And the only thing that should stop him if he gets some some news, some feedback that suggests that he should stay. Let's not get it twisted. I think a lot of folks that are fans of these athletes, we see it a lot in football, where we're like, he should stay. Why? I mean, why? Any money is better than not getting anything in college. And when you're in the league, you have a chance to make more money. Of course, you think about the signing bonus, but I've seen people leave jobs for $1,000 raise. And so it's funny that the same folks who are like, you should stay and get more money. Dude, you just changed your jobs for a couple $100. Why should he stay? Well, we know why. Let's be honest. Because we're selfish. We want him to come back to our team because we want our team to be better. And don't get me wrong. I want him to stay too. But over that, I want him to be happy and I want him to be successful and I want him to reach his dreams. And his dreams is to play professional basketball. He has to make that decision on if an extra couple dollars is important to him or not. Or if competing and playing at that level and the money will take care of itself because he's going to work his hardest and he's going to get it done, it's going to play out. That's his decision to make. He can determine that. But it didn't sound like he was 1,000% going. It's not like John Morant or Zion Williamson declaring, and Zion has not declared yet, but it's not like at least John Morant.
Yeah, like I said, if you read the 24/7 article, the quotes sound like he has every single intention of staying in the draft unless he just despises the feedback he receives, whereas in the video, he says that he plans to make the most of this opportunity and use the experience and feedback to make the most informed decision possible about my basketball future. That quote does not sound like somebody who is set on leaving to me. And he says that I'm going to lean on my family as well as Coach Barnes and this staff here at Tennessee through these next steps. And he also added, we're all in this together. Those quotes to me don't seem like somebody that is 100% in or even 95% sold on leaving. I
said this yesterday after the show, and Ben was kind of like, wait, what? And it's funny that this came out right after the show, but I said between Jordan Bone and Grant Williams, I feel like Rick Barnes could replace Jordan Bone a little bit easier with going out and getting transfers than replacing Grant Williams with transfers. And so if one of them would, if I had to pick one of them leaving and one of them staying, it would be Grant Williams staying and Jordan Bone leaving. Because I think there's a lot of guards out here that are transferring that Rick Barnes can get, develop, even in a short amount of time, and Tennessee still be a good basketball team. I repeat, good basketball team. I don't know if they're going to win the SEC regular season. I don't know if they're going to be a national championship contender, but they're going to be a good basketball team. If Grant Williams stays with everyone else, and then Rick Barnes goes out, addresses the point guard a position with the transfer, and then you bring in Josiah James, I think Tennessee will still be good. But I would rather lose Jordan Bone than Grant Williams right now. I would too, 100%. But I would be weary of bringing in a grad transfer at the guard position, because I understand that Jordan Bone was a freshman and a sophomore at the time, but look how long it really took Jordan Bone to grasp everything that Rick Barnes wants out of his point guard. And to throw somebody in there that has probably played 3 or 4 years at a different university, and then to throw them into a position that is vital in the way Rick Barnes runs his offense and defense, to me that really could throw off the chemistry, and it would be a worry of mine. I don't think it would be, a negative that they're bringing in a grad transfer. Obviously, I trust Rick Barnes and Rob Lanier if he stays, because apparently he is receiving interest from Georgia State and Buffalo.
So if Rob Lanier stays, I do trust the coaching staff to have that grad transfer ready. But look how long it took Jordan Bone to really grasp what it meant to play point guard for Rick Barnes. So that worries me about bringing in a grad transfer at the guard position, especially if it's a point guard.
See, I have a different take because I think for Jordan Bone, it took him a long time to grasp what it meant to be a point guard, period. And if you go out and you get a guy who's been a point guard at the college level, they understand what it means to be a point guard, period, in college basketball. And I don't think it would take much for Rick Barnes to get this point guard to understand what he wants in his offensive system, running motion, being unselfish. You look at quarterback grad transfers. It just takes a long time for guys to be used to get used to playing quarterback at the college level. Once they understand defenses, they understand preparation, they understand leadership, they understand how to carry themselves, things like that. When they transfer, all they got to do is just learn a new playbook. Look at the Washington State quarterback who came over from East Carolina. He had to learn how to be a quarterback in college, but when he joined up with Mike Leach, he was amazing. You look at Jalen Hurts, he's going to be good at Oklahoma. There's not doubt in my mind. He had to learn how to be a college quarterback first. Then he had to go learn a system. Baker Mayfield, same thing. Had to learn how to be a college quarterback when he was at Texas Tech. And then when he got to Oklahoma, man, he was next level. How about Kyler Murray? Freshman at Texas A&M, had to learn how to be a college quarterback. But once he learned the Oklahoma system, he was good. So I think you getting a grad transfer point guard, you're getting a guy who already understands how to play point in college and how important it is to manage a team. Now all you have to do if you're Rick Barnes, you just let them know, okay, these are our plays. This is what we do. I think that's a little bit easier than getting a freshman point guard because Jordan Bone, it took him a long time to learn how to be just a college point guard.
I 100% agree that getting a grad transfer point guard is much more efficient than maybe Tennessee landing Kyra Lewis, who is transferring from Alabama, who just finished his freshman season. I agree with that.
I would be okay with Kyra Lewis because at least he played a whole season of playing point, and he's learned how to play point guard from a former point guard, Avery Johnson.
Yes.
You have to teach getting a freshman point guard, man, now you have to teach him how to play the position. And this team right now is built to win now. You got Grant Williams. If he comes back, he'll be a senior. You got Jordan Bowden senior, Lamonte Turner senior. So I'm a little weary of bringing in a freshman point guard and him leading a veteran group. I kind of like the prospect of getting a veteran point guard in the grad transfer circle.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you, but I will say we already have an example of last season of James Daniel coming in here as a grad transfer guy, and he really didn't grasp.
He wasn't a point guard, though.
He did play point guard, though.
But
he played point guard.
He wasn't one.
I'm not saying that he wasn't, but Rick Barnes used him as a point guard for a good start to a healthy portion of the season at the beginning, and then they kind of switched things up and let him really play off the ball and really find his shot within the offense. So my point being is that they did bring in a point guard or somebody who Tennessee used as the backup point guard. They used James Daniel more as a backup point guard than they did Lamonte last year.
Correct.
And so what I'm saying is it took James Daniel a month or two into the season. It wasn't really until SEC play where James Daniel really found his niche within that Tennessee basketball roster.
And that team was good, though.
Correct.
The team was good, and number two, James Daniel was out of position. You try to bring in one of the best scorers in the entire NCAA and one of the best scorers in history, and you try to bring him in and be a point guard. Rick Barnes can go out and get a true point guard, a guy that is a little bit different than James Daniel. Yeah, he can make open shots. Yes, he can finish around the rim. He can score when you need him to be. But James Daniel was a score-first guy. That was his mentality, and he had to change it up here. Mm-hmm. And it was a difficult transition for him. Go out, get you a point guard. Get you a pass-first point guard who can make shots, who can get his own shot if he needs to. That I thought I think that's a big difference, though, because James Daniel's he's not a real point guard. Just like Lamonte is not a real point guard. He's a scorer.
Correct. But he was brought in to run point behind Jordan Bone.
I understand that.
So and it took him a minute to kind of grasp that.
He can pick. He can go out and pick who he wants now. Like, he can go and contact people in the transfer portal, and he can pick who he wants to bring in. So he has to be very careful about who he picks to bring in. You don't want to bring in a point guard who doesn't understand how to play point guard, and it takes him half of the season to figure it out. Bring you a guy in that understands how to play the position first, and then you teach him your plays. You teach him what you want, because you don't want to waste a year next year where you have three really good seniors, and a team with chemistry. That's all I'm saying.
I think you think that I'm disagreeing with you, which I am not. My original point was that it does concern me that there's a possibility of bringing in a guard that may not adjust well to everything that Rick Barnes wants to do, and it could throw off
it could
the chemistry that Jordan Bowden, Jordan Bone, Lamonte Turner already have.
Oh, you're right. Anytime you change, there's always a possibility of it not being the same. It can be better, it can be worse, but there's always a chance that things can be different when you have changed.
Right.
There's no doubt about it.
No, I want to ask you this before we go to break.
Yeah.
As of today, April 4th, do you think Jordan Bone gets drafted? Because if you look at ESPN's NBA draft board, he's not even listed in the top 100, and he's not even listed, which I think is egregious and deserves a for what, amongst the top 18 point guards that are draft eligible on ESPN's website.
Yeah, I think he'll be in top 10 once he gets to interviewing and once he starts to work out.
Like Ashton Hagans is 10th, Jared Harper is 9th. Jared Harper has had a tremendous tournament run. I'd rather have Jordan Bone. Jared Harper's not built for the NBA, for as little as he is, in my opinion. And his defense struggles at times. He has a hard time staying in front of guys. Ashton Hagans, I think Jordan Bone is better than him. I think Tremont Waters and Jordan Bone are on equal playing field. Yeah. I think Jordan Bone. I'd rather have Jordan Bone than Trey Jones, and Trey Jones is ranked the number 4 point guard.
Ooh, man, I don't know.
Shamari Pons, he from St. John's, he's a point guard, but he's more known as a scorer. I think Jordan Bone is a better distributor.
Trey Jones is the best defender at the point guard position in the country. Like, it ain't even close. That's tough. Nate Daniel from RTI says, don't discount Turner as a point guard for next season if they can't find true point guards to transfer. He had 4 assists and 2.5 assist turnover ratio. But I'm saying, you want guys to be used in their best position.
That's not Lamonte's best position.
I mean, why put Lamonte at point guard? That's the same thing as James Daniel. Why do that? You put Lamonte at point when the point guard is taking a blow, when he is resting. Putting Lamonte as a full-time point guard would not be playing to his strengths.
Will limit the offense.
He is an off-the-ball guard. He's a combo guard. So I don't think that would be the best move, to just settle for Lamonte playing point guard full time. That's not him, man. That's not him. Hour 2 is coming up. Touchdown turnover. We got Attaboy. Stay with us.
At work, can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Today looks to be cloudy with a high of 74. There is a 90% chance of rain tonight with a low of 53. Showers likely tomorrow with the high near 70 and a low around 53. The sun returns on Saturday with a high in the upper 70s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com.
Touchdown or turnover is up next on the Swain Event.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
In debt? In too deep? Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union says, stop treading water and get out of the deep end. If you've got debt, make a splash and come get some cash. If Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union can refinance your car, boat, camper, motorcycle, credit cards, personal or home loan, they'll pay you up to $500. So come take the plunge right now. Refinance your loans. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union will pay you. 5 convenient locations. Visit atfcu.com. Equal housing lender.
Touchdown or Turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Ben, are you ready for this touchdown turnover?
I'm ready for the buzz, Fuzz.
I don't know how long I'm gonna let you do that before I start ignoring you.
That's fine.
You ready for the buzz, Fuzz?
I am ready. That's what Texas A&M fans are saying this morning.
It's time for a poll. It might be time for a poll to see if we can allow this new turn on the show.
I'm going to be honest. Well, if it gets banned from the show, I will respect you and the listeners and not use it on the show, but I will still use it in my everyday life outside of the show. So the poll will not deter me from using it outside.
What about the fiance? You think fiance would like it?
It depends on when I ask her. She would probably laugh at me and tell me I'm silly or stupid.
Probably.
I'll text her right now and ask her, but she's getting off a 7 to 7 shift from the hospital right now, so I don't know if right now is the best time to ask her, but I'll try it anyways.
This is the best time to ask her. Maybe she's all sleepy and
groggy.
Maybe
she's delusional and she'll agree with me.
Yeah, that's right. Touchdown turnover backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong, better rates and better service. Here we go.
Where we're going.
The SEC list of basketball coaches. So the basketball coaches in the SEC, they are better than the football coaches in the SEC. Touchdown or turnover.
Initially, off the top of my head, just initial reaction, I say touchdown. But I want to pull up the list of teams within the SEC and think about it. I guess we could go through and see which one's better. Alabama, we're taking Saban over Nate Oates.
Yeah,
not even a question.
Well, the basketball list of SEC coaches
is deeper.
So it's just better than the football, like the football coaches in the SEC. So the quality of the basketball coaches better than the quality of football coaches in the SEC. That's a touchdown turnover.
I'll say touchdown. I think SEC football is very top heavy, whereas I think the SEC basketball list of coaches is strong from top to bottom. It's like South Carolina's Frank Martin isn't viewed as one of the league's top coaches. He's in kind of that second tier, whereas in other conferences, I think he would be in that first tier. Folks won't like to hear this, but Cuonzo Martin is in the top tier or just outside of the top tier in most other conferences. He's not in the SEC. And then now you're adding Buzz Williams and Nate Oates, who a lot of people are high on. Nate Oates, I think Buzz Williams is going to be a grand slam for A&M, a tremendous hire. Vanderbilt, they will probably make a solid hire. Vanderbilt basketball is not what Vanderbilt football is. And you look at Mississippi State with Ben Howland, reached the Final Four at UCLA. He's never talked about like some of these other coaches are. Bruce Pearl, I mean, he's proven this year he's one of the best in the country, not just the SEC. And then Arkansas, it doesn't look like they are going to hire Kelvin Sampson, but if they can go out and get a Eric Musselman, I mean, that would be a tremendous hire as well. I forget who the other candidate is off the top of my head for the Arkansas job right now.
For Arkansas?
There's Musselman, and there's another one that Chris Beard is the other one. That if Arkansas can land Chris Beard, my word, I mean, from top to bottom, the SEC might have the best coaches in the league of any basketball conference. I mean, I don't look at anybody right now as an SEC basketball coach and think of that coach is pathetic or that basketball program is pathetic. I mean, Georgia had a terrible season, but they have Tom Crean bringing in the number 2 player in the country in Anthony Edwards. They're on the up and up. Mississippi, Kermit Davis is a phenomenal coach. Like I said, I think Vanderbilt will make a solid hire. I don't think they'll make a bad hire. There's not a weak link in terms of coaching within the SEC. Conzo Martin might be the worst coach in the league. And when Conzo Martin is the 14th coach out of 14 coaches in the league, I think that is very telling of where your league sits in terms of coaching. I think it is the best from top to bottom, much better than football, because you look at football and some of these schools such as Arkansas and Chad Morris, he hasn't really proven himself. I think Jeremy Pruitt will make a great head coach at some point, but right now he is unproven. Derek Mason, I think he is actually better than Vanderbilt. Like I think you agree with me on this. Like had he taken the Georgia Tech job, I think Derek Mason would have done really well at Georgia Tech, or when he does get a job outside of Vanderbilt, I think he'll have more success. I think Vanderbilt is kind of capping him. I think he's hit his ceiling at Vanderbilt. Barry Odom, he's a good coach, but he's not like a top level coach as of right now. Matt Luke at Ole Miss, I mean, it's nothing too flashy. So I go touchdown. I think the list of SEC basketball coaches is much stronger than SEC football coaches.
I'm saying touchdown too. I think this is really simple. When SEC schools call some of the top up-and-coming coaches, there's no hesitation. They come. The big boy programs in the SEC, LSU, Tennessee, they went after their number 1 choice in their last coaching searches and were told no. Tom Herman said no. Tennessee got no from everybody. I don't think we need to go through the list, all right? But when Ole Miss calls Kermit Davis, yes. Alabama called Nate Oates, yes. Mississippi State brings in Ben Howland, boom. A&M gets Buzz Williams. Tennessee gets Rick Barnes. I mean, guys, this conference, they have more quality coaches than the football coaches. It ain't even close to me. We're top heavy with Nick Saban, but
the SEC football coaches right now are just unproven. There are a lot of unproven young head coaches. Maybe not young in age, but in terms of being a head coach, they're very young. Yeah,
Pruitt hasn't proved anything. Matt Luke hasn't proved anything. Coach Orgeron has done it before, but he hasn't done anything, big time. Now they are giving him more money and extension, and that's cool, whatever. Because I think I don't know if you're going to get better than Coach Orgeron right now, unless you get one of these top coaches, because LSU is a top 5 job in my opinion.
I think LSU's problem right now is the leadership above Coach O. I think that's what would detract others from coming.
Yeah. You look at Muschamp, and Muschamp is good, but Frank Martin went to the Final Four. So, man, this is becoming we joke around about Tennessee being a basketball school, but this is going to be a basketball league as far as quality of coaches. Now, we know where the bread is buttered, and that's football. Football brings in the money, but the quality of coaches, man. And Arkansas is getting ready to hire a coach. Now, I don't know what's taking them so long. I'm a little surprised that they have not brought in one already. Other schools have already made moves before Arkansas, and Arkansas is supposed to be a really good basketball job. Really weird, but
I wonder if they're waiting on a coach who is still in the Final Four in Chris Beard at Texas Tech. I'm telling you right now, if Arkansas lands Chris Beard, that is going to be a problem for the rest of the SEC. I am in love with Chris Beard and his coaching ability.
I remember when Tennessee in football, it was around 2013, 2014, and 15. And I remember saying, Tennessee football has to go win now and go get it done because we have a head start. And Tennessee football was recruiting really well, but had drama, didn't develop. And I said, man, if we don't take advantage of this, people are going to catch up with us. And when they catch up with us, it's going to be really hard to take the lead again.
As you said it, we were a lap ahead of Georgia. We were a lap ahead of Florida.
We were.
Everybody in the East.
We were. And look where we are now. We're kind of digging out of a hole. We're trying to basically come back from being 2 laps, 3 laps down.
We're the ones who are a lap behind now.
But basketball, I feel different with the conference getting better around us because we are already up front with Kentucky, with Auburn, with some of the other really good programs in this conference. We are the ones holding the baton at the beginning, like up or at front. Like I feel a whole lot better where we are now in basketball. Now, it's going to be harder because Buzz Williams is going to be good there. You know, Arkansas is going to make a really good hire. Alabama's not going to be sleepwalking. You know, Petty is returning to Alabama. He took his name out of the transfer portal. So that short meeting that he had with the coach, man, he was sold.
And Oates has already landed a 4-star center. He landed him the second day on the job, which the kid was about to commit to Buffalo, and he was like, follow me to Alabama. So, but it's still a big get for Alabama.
So A.J. Brandesell move?
Yes, an A.J. Brandesell move.
He's going to go to play tight end in Cincinnati, but
he came with Butch.
He came to Tennessee.
Yes, that type of move. And it looks like Alabama is trending very well for 5-star out of Hoover, Alabama, Trenton Watford, which I can't decide whether I want him to go to Alabama or Memphis. Like Tennessee has to play Memphis the next 2 years, and Tennessee has to play Alabama the next 2 years, which he's a one and done. So I guess we only have to deal with him.
I think he's going
once.
I think he's going to Alabama.
I think he's going to go with Penny.
If Alabama doesn't do what they need to do to get him,
understood.
All right, you got it. I don't need to go further.
Don't need to go further.
All right, gotcha.
Now you mentioned that we're becoming a basketball league.
As far as quality of coaches.
Yes, we know where the bread is buttered, but I like that the SEC just in general is becoming well-rounded. Softball and baseball are already phenomenal. I mean, the baseball league has 12 of the 14 teams ranked, which is ridiculous. Tennessee has 12 baseball series throughout the season, conference series. 10 of them are against ranked teams. That's ridiculous. And then obviously softball is good every single year because softball is so prevalent here in the South. And then football has always been what football is. It's nice to see basketball take a step forward and join those other leagues and being the best or one of the best, if not the best, in the entire country. And so as a sports fan, the sports fan that I am, who I love watching football, obviously. I love basketball. I love baseball. And I do keep up with Tennessee softball because they have Tennessee across the jersey. My sister played softball, so it's interesting to me. I enjoy women's basketball, at least in terms of the SEC. It's cool to see all of these sports that I enjoy be top-notch because it's so much more entertaining and so much more fun to watch. And it couldn't happen to a better conference. It just means more. It just means more, Jason.
That's what.
And that's the buzz fuzz.
Stop. 865-255-03 B Drive Waterproofing Hotline.
So my fiance said, honestly, not a huge fan.
I knew she was special.
She is special.
I knew she was the one for you.
And here's the thing, I'm still going to use it.
Ken says he agreed. No point guard for Lamonte. He's better off the ball. Plus, if he's playing point, nobody else ever get the ball. You probably got a point there. Monster Man says Barn needs to go get a big man.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yep. Needs a big man. Tremel from chat says, yo, I think he should, and Grant should. Tremel, you're gonna have to slow it down on these text messages. Cause I can't I can't understand what you're saying over here, brother. You gotta get your autocorrect taken care of. It's confusing me. Maddox says, looking at mock drafts and don't see Bone name in the first 2 rounds. If you are not a first, then I guess he's implying that you don't go. But hey, he has to put in the work. This is a list that is put together before they start doing their workout. So if he does his workouts and then he's not thought to be picked in the first round or 2, and there's only 2 rounds, then, I mean, the choice is really easy, and that's return. Carrie says, how can anyone take Jordan Rogers seriously? He was on The Bachelor.
Now, that's a good point.
In The Bachelor in Paradise. He is a kid that is obnoxious and says anything to fit in, just saying.
That's a good point. That is a good point. The Bachelor is the worst show on television. And it's not even the content. It's just the concept that they have. I'm not a fan of it.
I hate that he put his family stuff out there between him and his brother.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I ain't a big fan of that. I don't care if Aaron is right or wrong. I'm just not a big fan of that. And I'm trying with Jordan Rogers. I've actually asked him to come on the show before and did not get a response.
Hey, me too.
Yeah, I'm really trying with Jordan Rogers. I'm really trying, man. I'm trying.
It's weird because, like, I truly do love his analysis of football. Like, he is actually really good at calling games on the SEC network, but then it's just him. I don't like him.
I'm not going to say I don't like him.
I don't.
But I'm going to say I'm trying.
Fair enough.
I mean, he gives me plenty of reasons to give him the side eye and shake my head every time he talks. He does. He gives me plenty of reasons. But he does know his stuff, and he's really, really smart. He does know his stuff. He's really smart. I can't get the videos out of my head as him as a Vanderbilt player, an ex-player. But that's what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to hate Tennessee as a Vanderbilt quarterback and as an ex-Vanderbilt quarterback. But now he's in a role where he is covering all the teams in the SEC, and he has to be objective, but I still can't get that image out of my head. And so it's weird. They should have brought Marcus Spears.
Yes, please bring us the big swagoo.
Yeah, get this big swagoo here, man.
I love Marcus Spears so much.
Yeah,
bring us Tim Tebow. Go
guy.
Get Tim Tebow's playing. I don't care. Tim Tebow's playing AAA baseball. Go get him on an off day and bring him to Knoxville. But you know what this probably means, right? Because they weren't they were promoting the spring game in a way, obviously, but they're doing it for some feature that they're doing on the SEC network. It probably means that Jordan Rogers is going to be calling the orange and white game.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to be at the game, so I won't hear it.
You're not going to go back and watch a replay of it?
For what?
May need to jot down some more notes or something.
For what?
Well, I guess we can listen to it on mute.
For what?
For what? Turn down for what?
I will be at the game. I don't need to go back and watch the orange and white game.
That's fair.
Trust me, I'm good. I'm good.
I usually go back and watch it a time or two just to make sure I got all my ducks in a row.
I'm good, man. Right.
Fair enough.
I'm good. Who we got there?
Big Orange Herd.
Big Orange Herd. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason and Ben. How you guys doing?
Wonderful, man. How are you?
Hey, I'm good, man. Hey, I just had a comment about the AAF, and I apologize if you guys have already talked about this. I've missed a couple of the shows this week, but man, I'm so angry at the way the shutdown was handled, man. When I see pictures of players, getting their luggage off the curb at their hotel, I mean, the way that was handled, it just blows my mind. How are you going to start a league without enough money? How can you start a football league without enough money? I don't get that. I mean, they deserve a forever for what? In my opinion.
No, I think you're right. No, I think you're right, man. I mean, there's been so many attempts to put together leagues like this, and I don't understand how this happened after 8 games.
I don't either. And bear with me. I have a couple notes to add on to Big Orange Herd. You mentioned that, the players in Memphis, their luggage was kind of thrown out into the open. I have a list of 4 or 5 bullet points that really stuck in my craw yesterday and was going to be on For What. You mentioned the players in Memphis came back to their hotels after news came down and had their personal items waiting in the lobby, kicked out of their lodgings. Then there was the amount of money owed to vendors and venues in San Antonio for training camp is over $4 million. How about this? The reserve and injured players will be left in the cold. They will be paying for their own rehab and medical expenses. A high-level staff at the team level received email from the board. No one received a termination notice from an actual person. Staff members were asked to stay behind in markets to clean out office spaces without pay and handle refunds, but there's no clarity as to who will be receiving those refunds. It's just a complete mess, like you said, Big Orange Herd.
Yeah, it is, man. It really is. And I feel sorry for players like Pig Howard, you know, a lot of our former, you know, VFLs that are in that league that you want to see have a chance, you know, or some of them, maybe they're not there for the NFL. Maybe they're there just to make more money, but whatever that opportunity was for them, to have it taken away from them, I mean, it's just your heart breaks for them and for that, you know, the way they were treated. I'm a huge Pig Howard fan, man. I love the way he played the game at Tennessee. I know he had some off-field issues, you know, but I want to see him succeed. If his dream is to make it to the NFL, man, you know, same as with Jordan Bone in the NBA, then I want to see them succeed and reach those dreams. And man, to have the carpet, you know, just the rug pulled out from under you like that with no notice, man, it was just that's just so disgraceful, man. And if there is such a thing as a forever for what, can we give the AAF or whoever handled it that way a forever for what?
Absolutely. I mean, you've had so many other examples of what not to do. And, you know, other leagues that have tried and failed. And, I mean, how do you let this happen after only 8 games? I mean, the XFL at least finished the season. These players, man, they had jobs. And they dropped those jobs to go play football right then. And after only a few months, now they have to find out what they're going to do.
Not only jobs, but I mean, it served as a pipeline maybe to the NFL, where a Pig Howard who was on the Bears practice squad for a little while, he can come back down to the AAF, have a good year, and maybe get signed to a training camp deal somewhere. It was not only was it a job, but it was a hope and dream that maybe it could be a launching pad back into the league. It's unfortunate.
The thing is, XFL is around the corner. The commissioner looks like it is Oliver Luck, but man, when you looked at Bill Poland being a part of the AAF, you felt confident they had the right people behind them. You just never know, man. I just hope that the NFL can really put out a product like a feeder program, but we got to do a better job of supporting those leagues too, because if they don't get the viewers, then that league cannot last. You know, we got to do a better job. We like football. We got to watch it. We got to support it. And they got to go out and try to get names, things like that. But we should be able to have football year round.
I still don't understand why they started the league in February. I thought they should have waited until, you know, next week or the week after the Final Four to start the league. Because like we have been on the show, we've been so caught up on college basketball and Tennessee basketball. The AAF has been a second thought or a third or fourth thought. I would be much more likely to watch the league had it started after the tournament. Because right now it's just baseball season. And I am one of the few who actually enjoy baseball season. So speaking for the masses here in the South, a lot more people would be much more likely to watch the AAF. I hate saying that. The AAF. That's why I'm glad the league is gone, so I don't have to ever say it again.
The AAF. You should have said the AAF. That'd have been a whole lot easier. The AAF. Hour 2 continues after this.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Today looks to be cloudy with a high of 74. There is a 90% chance of rain tonight with a low of 53. Showers likely tomorrow with the high near 70 and a low around 53. The sun returns on Saturday with a high in the upper 70s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Thinking about trying CBD oil but not sure where to get it or who to trust for a quality supplement? Our friends at Tennessee Valley Hemp Company invite you to try their full spectrum hemp extract, available in 500 milligram and 1000 milligram strengths. They are a local company based right here in Knoxville whose crops are grown in East Tennessee. Their farmers are committed to cultivating pharmaceutical-grade hemp oil that produces results. It is only available in community pharmacies where you can get questions answered by experienced professionals. If you are unsure whether or not it's okay to take hemp extract with your existing medications, pharmacists are happy to perform interaction checks that keep you safe and healthy. You can find out more by visiting or calling any of these local drugstores: Gordon's Drugstore in Carnes, Vaughn's Drugstore in Powell, Stanford Drugs in New Tazewell, or Farragut Pharmacy in Farragut. Check them out on Facebook at Tennessee Valley Hemp Company, and don't forget to hit the like button. When you buy, remember to ask for the only hemp oil that supports your health and the Power T. Tennessee Valley Hemp Company. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Do you have sloping or uneven floors, foundation cracks, or a leaning chimney? Do your windows and doors not open properly, or are there gaps where the floor and walls meet? Don't worry, B-Dry offers approved foundation repair solutions like steel I-beams, helical piering, epoxy injections, carbon fiber applications, and more. Make sure that your home is on stable ground with B-Dry. Call them at 865-588-0454 or find them online at bdry.com.
Have you noticed lack of energy, motivation, and drive? Call the Low T Center and schedule a complete health assessment today. Whether you have sleep apnea and need a CPAP or have low testosterone or low thyroid levels, Low T Center will get you feeling great again. If you're a man over 30 and haven't had an annual checkup, don't wait until you feel bad. Do yourself a favor and get a quick and easy health assessment today. Services are covered by most health insurance. Call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Goes your car insurance.
Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Hoes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy.
All right, it's time for Attaboy, where we, unlike most sports shows and news shows, we like to talk about the positive things in this segment. We like to highlight people doing positive things and uplifting other people. What do we have today?
We're going to uplift, wait for it, Grant Williams once again, because he has received yet another accolade. And I didn't know if you know this, but last night he was actually named the GOAT. We added that to his list of accolades. Well, it was a joke because it seems like he has a new award that he wins every single day, or a new All-American team that he is named to every single day. So I was just joking that on top of that, he has also been named the greatest basketball player of all time. Better than MJ, better than Chris Lofton. Yeah, I said it, Chris. No, I'm kidding. Chris Lofton will forever be my favorite Tennessee Vol ever. But Grant Williams has been named to the Wooden Award All-American Team, finalist for the Wooden Award Trophy, Williams, who has already been coined a unanimous first-team All-American by the NCAA, was one of 10 players selected for the team. Once again, it is the 2019 Men's Wooden Award All-American team by the Los Angeles Athletic Club. Quite the honor for the two-time SEC Player of the Year, who was also one of the 5 finalists invited to Los Angeles for the presentation of the Wooden Award Trophy, which is given to the nation's most outstanding player during the ESPN College Basketball Awards. He joins Duke's R.J. Barrett and Zion Williamson, Michigan State's Cassius Winston, and Murray State's Ja Morant, who declared for the draft last night. The winner will be announced next Friday, April 12th. So very cool to see Grant Williams receive all of this recognition. Is it weird to you that he's receiving all this recognition and he's not even the most popular player from this past year's team? Like, it's almost as if all these awards, or no, let me rephrase that. It's almost as if how great he was this season was overlooked by Admiral's popularity. Do you feel that way, or am I out in my own boat on that one?
I think Grant's more popular.
Really? I think Admiral is.
No, I think Grant's more popular. I think for some folks, they like Admiral because he goes against the grain, and he's a trash talker, and he did the video. But I think Grant is more popular.
Maybe so.
I think he's more popular. I do. I really do. And I like Grant a lot. Lamonte Admiral kind of stick out to me because I see a little bit of myself in them. Kind of how they carry themselves and little attitude they have here and there. And not saying that Grant doesn't have any dog in him. He definitely does. But I kind of relate more to Lamonte.
A dog.
A little bit more, but I think Grant's probably the most popular. All right, I'm going to Elkhart School District of Indiana for my attaboy. And this is attaboy, attagirl. This is atta everybody who are involved. One school district has come up with a simple yet effective solution for simultaneously tackling both student hunger and food waste. The Elkhart School District of Indiana they've started to salvage their wasted food so they can package it up for their students to take home on the weekend. Many students depend on the free breakfasts and lunches that are provided by the school as their main source of food. So when there's no school on the weekend, many of those students have nothing to eat at home. School administrators then noticed how much of their cafeteria food was going straight into the garbage. So as a means of helping to feed their students over the weekend, the district partnered with a food rescue group called Cultivate to collect, package, and freeze all of their unused food from school lunches. Now, every Friday for the rest of the school year, 20 at-risk students from Woodland Elementary School will be giving a backpack containing 8 frozen meals for their weekend at home. I want folks to really think about that. You have kids in elementary, and this is not just in Indiana, this is all over the country. You got kids in elementary school that get geeked and rely on the free school breakfasts and lunches to eat because they don't eat at home. 865-200-5503, B-Dry Waterproofing Hotline.
I miss those milk cartons from the school lunches. Now, I miss the taste of the chocolate milk. I don't miss how little the carton was because myself being a growing boy,
some of you, man,
did not fulfill my thirst. It did not quench my thirst.
Yes, that's on you, man. Ken says Admiral is definitely the more popular. Grant is well liked and appreciated. Admiral is university beloved, in my opinion. See, but that's his opinion. And in my opinion, I think Grant is more popular, like more popular.
Yeah.
Are we talking about more popular within the fan base or just more popular, period?
I think within the fan base. Well, I was referring to within the fan base.
I think there's different types of fans. I think there's casual fans who just happy that Tennessee basketball is doing well. Not necessarily that they're basketball fans. They don't really follow the team as much.
Mm-hmm.
They just like the best player.
Yeah.
The one that's getting all the attention, and that's Grant. So
Yeah.
I think it just depends. No. Quick question. How are students starving and obese at the same time? 1 minute we're told there's a child obesity problem and something must be done, and the next minute kids are all starving. How is this? Ken, not all kids are starving. There's a few kids at each school that their parents are terrible, and they don't do a good job of parenting them. Terrible. And they don't feed them, and so those few kids, they do rely on school lunches to eat. And we do have a child obesity problem because we have a nationwide obesity problem. So both are true. Both are true.
Memphis Pam says that every game in Memphis, referring to the Memphis Express, was either windy and cold or wet and rainy. Never was there a beautiful winter day to sit outside and watch football. Between the weather and it being during March Madness, essentially, or leading up to March Madness, I did not understand the start of the season. I think the viewership would be much greater if you wait until maybe the end of April, because even next weekend, the weekend after the Final Four, it's the Masters weekend. You're not going to compete with the Masters. You won't even be on television with the Masters being on. So I would have waited until the end of April, the beginning of May, maybe even waited until school or kids are out of school. That way, maybe it becomes a thing that they can do during the summer.
Yeah, maybe. Susie Bell says, what would you do if you were Jordan Rodgers, in Jordan Rodgers' position, and had to interview with Saban and the floppy-nosed elephant?
The real elephant or the fake elephant?
Floppy nose, man. It's the fake one. The floppy nose one. They don't even use a live mascot.
But it would be cool if you had to interview Nick Saban with a live elephant, with a real elephant.
Nah. What would I do? I would be different than Jordan Rodgers because I don't have any videos of me throwing Alabama stuff in the trash. I don't. Now, as a player, I hated Alabama because I'm from Alabama, and Tennessee, Alabama was, that's the rivalry game, when I played. But I don't think I've put myself in a position where if I were in Rodgers' shoes, that I could not do my job objectively. I think Jordan Rodgers had kind of dug himself in a hole from a lot of things that he said, done before he worked with the SEC Network.
And he can't dig himself
back out. And he can't dig himself out. I don't think I've done that. I'm supposed to not like Alabama and Florida as a former player. I'm not supposed to like them as a player.
You've never really talked trash to that extent on social media.
No,
we joke here on the show, but
correct.
But maybe that would also be different if Tennessee was good and was beating those two teams.
But I'll tell you one thing. If I was in Jordan Rodgers' shoes, I would have no problem calling a spade, just like I do here. So, will it be weird? I'm sure at first, but after the first year or maybe the first couple months or whatever, I'll get used to it. I think Jordan Rodgers really put himself in a hole with those videos, man. I think that's the difference between him and Greg McElroy. Or Tim Tebow or Marcus Spears, because we've had all these guys come to Knoxville. We've had Marcus Spears sit down with Jeremy Pruitt last year. We've seen Tim Tebow come and rock out with Tennessee gear on. Like, we've seen that stuff. But this is uncomfortable with Jordan Rodgers. It's different. It's a different feel. I'm not going to deny it. It's different.
I would encourage Nick Saban to retire. If I were talking to Nick Saban and interviewing him, I would encourage him to retire, take time to spend with his family. It's important that you spend time with family, Nick. You can imagine how many Debbie cakes you could eat if you're retired.
Ball Coach 5 says, I teach at a high school. Tell Kenan to step aside. He'll step inside any school and put himself inside a classroom and teach a student who can't hold their head up because they are hungry and didn't sleep the night before. Yeah, that was just an ignorant comment from Ken. I don't think it was malicious, but I think it was just ignorant from Ken because he just doesn't understand what these students are going through, and Ken's a little bit older, so maybe he does not understand what administrators, teachers go through and see on a daily basis. There's some parents that are terrible. They're terrible, and these kids don't have clothes. They don't have clean clothes. They don't have guidance. They don't have a role model. They don't have food, and it's really sad. So that's why my attaboy went to the school district, because why throw food away when you could just give it to those that truly need it? This is awesome, and I hope more school districts do the same. 865-250-5503 B Drive Waterproofing Hotline.
I found a reason why you might need to go back and watch the broadcast.
Why?
You could end up like T and Pride 85 and get moderately to severely hammered at the orange and white game.
That's not gonna happen.
I know it's not, but hey, if you did,
Well,
if that did happen, would you not go back and watch the broadcast? Although I will say there were a couple Butch Jones spring games I wish I was hammered and couldn't remember, and I would not go back and watch those.
Well, I will not be getting hammered. I would not be drinking before the spring game. Here's the reason why.
Oh, hold on. Do we have breaking news? Is this breaking news? Burp, 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 burp.
Sure. This is breaking news. Breaking news on the Swain event.
We've got the buzz, Fuzz.
I got to start all over now. Here we go. Start all over. Ben, you messed it up. Breaking news on the Swain event. Hush, Ben. The reason why I will not be drinking before the orange and white game is because other former Vols and myself
will be playing and coaching.
Will be signing autographs outside the stadium in a location that's going to be announced by Tennessee. And I don't know who all else will be there signing autographs, but I do know that I agreed that I would be there and do it, and in hopes of helping promote the orange and white game and having more folks come. I know that the current player signing autographs in that time is very, very important to the kiddos, because the kids don't care about kids that wasn't even born when I played. I mean, they're not gonna care about a bunch of has-beens, a bunch of old dudes who played a long time ago. But there might be some folks who do care. I don't think us signing autographs will replace current players signing autographs, but I think this is really cool. This is another way that Tennessee is connecting with their fans and allowing former players to come and connect with fans is really, really cool. So that is the news. I don't know where, even though it's going to be really, really close, probably right in front of the stadium. I don't know exactly. And I don't know who all else will be there signing autographs and will be available. I just know that I have agreed and that it is happening, and be on the lookout for Tennessee releasing some information about that later.
I think it depends on what players are signing autographs in relation to if it could replace the current players. Like if you've got Al Wilson out, not obviously I doubt that Tennessee is going to try Al Wilson out there to sign autographs, but if it was a guy like Al Wilson and Peyton Manning and Jason Wynn, obviously I think fans would rather have their autograph than the current players. But to your point, I'm assuming this means that there's not going to be a fan day as we've had in the past, which I do think is unfortunate, because how many kids look up to Jarrett Garantano? How many kids cherish Jawan Jennings? So it is unfortunate in that part. And how many kids look up to Jeremy Pruitt, cherish Jeremy Pruitt being the Tennessee head football coach, and would love to meet Jeremy Pruitt? So I think it's unfortunate that we won't have fan day as we have had it in the past. But at least fans do get something. That is important.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a big weekend. I mean, it's a big weekend of sports. So it's not like you're just coming for the orange and white game. You're actually coming for the Tennessee athletic experience. There's a lot of things going on. And listen, I'm not I'm not on Tennessee's PR team. They don't pay me at all. They don't pay me. So everything I get here doing on the show, it's on my own. It's on my own. It's me going out getting it myself. So I'm not on any PR team at Tennessee. They got people that can promote this orange and white game themselves. But I think it'd be cool to meet fans, and if it helps with the attendance of the orange and white game, cool. So I think I'm okay to share that news with you. If it's not okay, my bad.
Whoops.
My bad. 865-255-03. We got For What coming up next.
For what is coming up on the Swain Event.
Today looks to be cloudy with a high of 74. There is a 90% chance of rain tonight with a low of 53. Showers likely tomorrow with a high near 70 and a low around 53. The sun returns on Saturday with a high in the upper 70s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com.
Be Dry is celebrating 60 years of protecting homes across the U.S. They are the basement and crawl space experts. There has been historic rainfall in East Tennessee recently. If you are experiencing wet foundation walls, puddles on your floor, or water where your floor and wall meet, then you should call Be Dry. They have over 500,000 customers nationwide. Be Dry gives free estimates for all homeowners, financing is available, and if you mention the Swain Event, Be Dry will give you $500 off a full perimeter basement waterproofing solution. Wet basement? Better call Be Dry, 865-588-0454 or online at BeDry.com.
Do you want a custom themed tumbler or bottle to show off your team spirit every day of the week? Well, look no further than Game Time Sidekicks. Every design has you, the fan, in mind. Their tumblers and bottles are double-walled, vacuum-insulated stainless steel, and their quality is second to none in the market. From stainless steel sippy cups to tumblers and sports bottles, Game Time Sidekicks offers something for the fan of all ages to rep their team with. They have many different logo options, so fans will have something they are proud to carry around all the time. Use promo code SWAIN at checkout to get 20% off of your entire purchase at GameTimeSidekicks.com. They also offer $5 flat rate shipping. Be sure to check out the Game Time Workshop on the website and customize your tumbler to make it one of a kind with things like your nickname, number, or initials. Game Time Sidekicks. Show your colors and carry your team.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost that it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Dan Mullen posing awkwardly with recruits.
For what?
Gators working out wearing costumes.
For what?
Vanderbilt making a sorority-style video.
For what?
Aaron Murray and David Pollock opening their mouths.
For what?
You know, we have days where it's a little tougher than others to come up with really good for what's. But today is not one of those days. Today is easy because I'm starting in Benton County, Arkansas, where police arrested 2 men after they took turns shooting one another while wearing a bullet-resistant vest. Charles Eugene Ferris, age 50. The age here does, it's important to mention the age. Charles Ferris, 50, and Christopher Hicks, 36, was arrested Monday in connection with aggravated assault. Hendricks, one of the Benton County Sheriff deputies, interviewed Ferris, who had a red spot on his chest. Ferris told an elaborate story to try to cover up the truth. He said someone from the edge of the tree line began shooting at him. Then he changed the story about the incident and said he did not want to get his boy in trouble, Hicks. So he made up the whole story prior. Then he told the police what really happened and said he had been drinking on his back deck with Hicks and wanted Hicks to shoot him with the vest on. So Hicks shot Ferris with the .22 caliber semi-automatic rifle. The bullet hit the top corner of the vest, stopping the bullet from leaving a red mark. Ferris told the police he was really upset, and Hicks put the vest on. And Ferris then unloaded the clip until Hicks' back. What in the country hell is going on here?
I'm just surprised that this did not take place in Alabama.
I mean, it ain't really much different from Alabama and Arkansas.
Do not compare Arkansas to the armpit of America.
They're really similar in a lot of ways. But anyways.
They are.
What these dudes doing, man? Shooting each other with a bulletproof vest to see? All right, man, what you got for what? I can't even go any further.
I think that you and I should do this in your backyard after the show.
No, we should not.
Well, I'm too much of a chicken.
No.
Anyways, Swain, are you familiar with the Drake song, Kiki, Do You Love Me?
Yeah, unfortunately, I am.
Yeah, it's not Drake's greatest work, but it is a catchy tune that took over America over the course of the summer. And my for what goes to Kentucky fans who made a play off of Drake's song. Chuma Okeke, as we know, Auburn's best player, a forward for the Tigers, suffered a torn ACL against North Carolina on Friday. And while most have sent their support to the Auburn Star and have kept him in thoughts and prayers, a house of Kentucky fans in Lexington chose not to. Are you familiar with the homecoming banners that hang on the side of Neyland Stadium homecoming week?
Mm-hmm.
And then also the frat houses and the sorority houses and the houses that are just off campus.
Mm-hmm.
That they hang those banners and they come up with catchy sayings, and usually they are disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kentucky fans, because of course, I'm sure Matt Jones led this charge, took a sheet rather.
That's the Matt Jones.
I don't like him. And said, Okeke, ... are you riding? And they painted a picture of Chuma Okeke in an Auburn jersey on a scooter with his leg in a brace. And said hashtag cats by 90, hashtag BBN, which stands for Big Blue Nation. This could not be more disrespectful, trashy, classless, and disgusting from Kentucky fans.
Let me say this.
And deserves a huge for what, obviously.
I don't want that to reflect the entire fan base, because that's one thing that we hate.
Mm-hmm.
We hate when a Tennessee fan does something really stupid, really ignorant, and then another person from another fan base puts all of us in that same boat. It's what happened with the Graciano stuff. There were some folks that went overboard, that was disrespectful, that turned it into something that it really wasn't with that. And it painted the fan base in a negative light. And not everyone pretending like they were there that day on the Penn State campus. And so I thought that was a little out of bounds. So I don't want to do that to another fan base. I don't want 3 or 4 people that put this thing together to reflect the entire Kentucky fan base. But you really try not to condone violence. You really try not to say the solution.
These folks deserve a butt whooping.
Is violence, but man, I'm beginning to think that some of the things that are posted on social media about people, what if they got addressed like face to face, and then was just simply punched in the face?
They probably would not post the things that they post anymore, if I had to guess.
This for what? The 2 Arkansas dudes? Do you know why they were shooting each other?
Well, they were probably on drugs.
They were drunk. But the reason why they felt comfortable enough to do it because they knew they had bulletproof vests on. And so the keyboard is the bulletproof vest for a lot of folks that type online because they know that they will never see this person in the streets.
Especially when they are hiding behind a fake Abby and a fake Twitter name.
I mean, I just don't get it, man. I don't understand how you can celebrate someone getting hurt like that. I think it's really disrespectful. And it's probably a good thing Kentucky's at the house and not in the Final Four.
Correct. I hated South Carolina when Steve Spurrier was there. I still... Maybe hate's too strong a word. I strongly disliked South Carolina under Steve Spurrier. I still strongly dislike South Carolina because I do not like Will Muschamp, and Tennessee plays them every single year. I was sick to my stomach when Marcus Lattimore had his injury. Here's a better example. I despise Georgia. I hate Georgia. I wish Georgia would fall off the face of the planet. I was sick to my stomach when Nick Chubb had that injury here in Neyland Stadium. I felt so bad for the kid, and it is unfortunate that sometimes loyalty to a school or sports overshadow the fact that these are still human beings. And in this case, they are still college kids. Chuma Okeke is a sophomore, I believe, so he's 19, 20 years old, and he just suffered a nasty injury in the middle of playing the game of his life against North Carolina and probably would have been a first-round pick. Some things are bigger than sports, and sometimes that is forgotten.
This is a few Kentucky fans being disrespectful. He's 20 years old. I don't want that to reflect the entire Kentucky fan base, man, because I'm pretty sure there's some really good people inside that fan base. Anytime you have a large fan base, you're going to have idiots.
Yes.
We have them. Every large fan base has them. It's just the law of averages. It's just the way it works. Hour 3 coming up.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense?
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The berry punch and activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the pure recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain-O, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The chocolate gladiator and the chocolate shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week and you'll feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
In debt? In too deep? Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union says, stop treading water and get out of the deep end. If you've got debt, make a splash and come get some cash. If Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union can refinance your car, boat, camper, motorcycle, credit cards, personal or home loan, they'll pay you up to $500. So come take the plunge right now. Refinance your loans. Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union will pay you. 5 convenient locations. Visit atfcu.com. Equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com.
So Jeremy Pruitt, a couple days ago, talked about some of the guys on the offensive line. He mentioned Wanye, Nathan Niehaus, Jameer Johnson, K-Ron Calvert, Jerome Carvin. They're working Jerome Carvin at center. Just in case. Brandon Kennedy still recovering from the ACL, not 100% ready to go, and 11 on 11. But Jerome Carvin, remember last year, Tennessee did not get K. Mays, but they got a really good player in Jerome Carvin out of Memphis. And that was a really good get because it opened things up for Tennessee and Memphis. The Tennessee to Memphis relationship has not always been one way. You know, Coach Foreman did a really good job recruiting that area. Dooley didn't do a great job recruiting that area.
Did Kiffin in his 1.5 recruiting classes?
I think Kiffin tried to recruit that area, but only one class is really hard to tell. I think he did get a player from Memphis, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't think Dooley did a good job in Memphis. Just because you get a player from Memphis don't mean you do a good job in Memphis. So they did get Cam Clear. I'm not sure who got him. If it was it Kiffin or was it Dooley?
That was Dooley.
But they got Cam Clear. Anyways, Dooley didn't do a good job in Memphis. I talked to Memphis high school coaches. I can tell you that for a fact. Okay. Butch Jones did not do a good job because he ain't really good at recruiting that areas, those type of areas, if you get what I'm saying. Okay. So getting Jerome Carvin was a big deal, and he's a good player. He played last year as a true freshman, had his moments that were negative and positive, but now he's a sophomore, and you have your biggest improvement from your freshman to your sophomore year. So you look at Wanye, and you can pencil him in at tackle as long as he can handle that position. You look at Nathan Niehaus. You look at Jameer Johnson, who I think has a chance to be the most improved player from last year to this year. He has the mentality to play offensive line here at Tennessee. He did not have the weight to play in the SEC, but they have addressed that during the offseason. Pruitt seems to be high on K-Ron Calvert. So this looks like the offensive line that we may see a combination. I mean, we may see this combination during the season. But again, you got Brandon Kennedy. That's a wild card, who was a starter before he got hurt. And then you just never know what's going to happen with Trey Smith. You still got Darnell Wright coming in. You got Progene that's here, but he's had some little nicks and stuff early. Typical for any freshman to come in. The game is more physical. There's more demand on your body. There's more beating on your body. So it takes a little bit of time to adjust to that. But we'll see who will be out there at the offensive line in the orange and white game with the first team offense. I'm really looking forward to seeing who they're going to put out there, because the wide receivers, they are the strength of this football team. And we can want to run the ball 40 times, 30 times, but we saw last year where Tennessee just could not run the ball, and they continue to try, which you still have to continue to try to run the ball. But at some point, you have to go to your strength, and your strength is wide receivers. And so Jared Garantano, man, if he gets time, he's going to deliver the ball and take care of the ball. Jared just has to be better with anticipation. He has to be better with throwing in windows and just letting it fly and take maybe some more chances. But I'm certainly not going to complain about him being really good at taking care of the ball and protecting it, because he did that last year a lot.
I tell you what, it sure does make me feel more comfortable about the status of the offensive line, that Nathan Niehaus has taken a huge step forward during winter conditioning this spring practice, and I imagine he'll continue to take a big step forward during summer workouts. Yeah, I mean, if Nathan Niehaus can be a productive player along the offensive line, that is such an added boost, because in January, leading up to signing day, nobody was talking about Nathan Niehaus. It was maybe a miracle happens and Trey Smith can play. We've got Brandon Kennedy at center. We've got Jerome Carvin. Jameer Johnson needs to add some weight. And then hopefully, the freshman, Darnell Wright, Wanye Morris, the big-time freshman, can come in and play right away. But if Nathan Niehaus can play tackle, that puts less pressure on Wanye or Darnell Wright playing right away, which I still think both of them will, because they're so talented. But we all thought Drew Richmond, Dontavius Blair was going to come in and play right away. There's just no guarantee that they are going to be ready. Again, I think they will be, but Nathan Niehaus appearing to be ready to play right tackle takes pressure off of those guys. So it makes me feel so much more confident about the offensive line, that Nathan Niehaus has taken a step forward, that Jerome Carvin has taken a step forward. Wanye Morris looks good, is shedding that baby weight that he has. Jameer Johnson has added much needed weight. The offensive line, in my opinion, at least in my mind, is further along than I anticipated at this point. And I do think Tennessee's success this season comes down to the play of the offensive line, the play of the defensive line, and I'm not as worried about the offensive line as I was a month ago. I don't know if you feel the same way.
I feel better, but until they go out there and do it against a team wearing the opposite color jersey, I'm still gonna have questions. We were talking about the spring game a little earlier in the show, and I mentioned that Tennessee has went to 4 SEC championship games, and Tennessee actually went to 5. 97, 98, 01, 04, 07. So 5 SEC championship game appearances and 1-2. So we are 2-5 in SEC games. And we were talking about the spring game numbers. And so we were looking at the year after an SEC appearance. We typically see a spike in numbers. And in 2001, Tennessee played for an SEC title, and the next spring game there was only a 3,000 difference in numbers with the attendance.
Yeah.
So the biggest spike we've seen is with the coaching change, and I think you can look at the social media age and how everything, like the smallest little thing, now matters in recruiting, whereas during times when Tennessee was really good, those things really didn't matter that much.
It's weird to look back and think that 10 to 15 years ago, the spring game attendance numbers, weren't very high. I mean, 10, 15, 20,000 people most seasons. And I think social media and not just the SEC network, but cable television has really, helped grow the prevalence of the spring game. Because I don't think the spring game was as important for the players and coaches as it is today, 10-year difference. The spring game in 2005 to the players and coaches is as important to the spring game to the players in 2019. But to the fans, at least from my perspective, I didn't really know what the spring game was growing up. I knew it was a thing that football teams did, but in terms of like making an event out of it, I don't think it became a thing for college football as a whole, not just Tennessee, really until the late 2000s, early 2010, 11, 12. And I think that's why you've seen the attendance numbers grow so much, is because of social media and how you can promote it so well on that platform. And then now it is becoming an event where people come from all over and spend the day in Knoxville. They get autographs, they tailgate, they go eat at their favorite restaurants in Knoxville. So to me, it's kind of cool that it's almost like I think somebody on the text box yesterday worded it as a tune-up for the regular season, a practice of sorts when it comes to tailgating. So I think it's cool how much the spring game has grown in terms of being an actual event rather than just a game.
So I have a young girl on my team that's really super athletic, and she's playing basketball really for the first time. She's probably our most athletic girl, and sometimes her vertical is like unreal. So she'll jump really high to get the rebound, but then on the putback, she would barely jump on the putback. And so to get her to understand that it's super important for her to jump with the same, same effort and jump as high as you can on the putback, I said, listen, you have a superpower. Like you're like a superhero. You have a power. If Aquaman couldn't swim or didn't swim, he would be pointless. Superman didn't fly or use his strength, he would be pointless. You not jumping on a putback, you're not using your superpowers. I feel like Knoxville has a superpower here. Because Knoxville, look at the setup. We've seen Florida State. We've seen Georgia add entertainment into their spring game weekend to get people to come. Downtown by the convention center, there's a really cool spot for concerts. That's walking distance to the stadium. You have the river right there. We're blessed to have that river right there. We're blessed to have the convention center right there around the corner from the stadium. Man, if Knoxville really wanted to, with Tennessee, you can get you someone to come and perform, have a concert right there, have the orange or white game, and all the other sporting events. And we're talking about really giving people reasons to book hotels in Knoxville and stay the whole weekend, and not only helping the local economy, but you may get bigger spring game numbers.
Yes, we made fun of Georgia a couple of years ago when they had Ludacris.
No, because we were jealous.
Well, that, and we also made fun of Ludacris and his ludicrous list of things that he had to have in order for him to be in attendance. I would love to see Tennessee pry in somebody like Kenny Chesney to do a concert. I know some folks feel a certain type of way towards Mr. Kenny because of his pleasure in putting on different teams' gear wherever he goes. But it would be cool to see Kenny Chesney do a concert, in this case, with it being a 6 o'clock game, maybe early in the afternoon somewhere in Knoxville, or if it's a 2 o'clock or a 4 o'clock game in Thompson-Boling Arena that night after the spring game. I do think that would help with attendance, and because it's just an added incentive to come. Because right now, for this particular spring game, outside of watching the players for 2 hours, what's the incentive for coming? and you just mentioned that you and some other former Vols will be signing autographs at somewhere sometime. But outside of that, what is the incentive? And even until today, fans didn't know about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we really want to, like, if you really want attendance numbers, man, go get them. I mean, we got the resources. Go get them. Do it big. Why not? Why not? I mean, that's like having Peyton Manning as an alum and not using Peyton Manning to go talk to quarterback recruits. Why not? Why would you ever have a quarterback recruit and not use Peyton Manning? It makes no sense. Now, I will give Butch Jones credit. He did use Peyton Manning in bringing in Garantano. And he did use Peyton in recruiting a little bit. That's what you should do. Man, we have a unique situation here in Knoxville. And Jim Chaney mentioned it when he spoke to the media. His family loves Knoxville. He loves Knoxville. Knoxville is one of the best places to live in the SEC. In the SEC. Who wants to live in Tuscaloosa if you're not coaching football?
Not me.
Who wants to live in Auburn if you're not coaching football?
I know a lot of people that like to live in Auburn.
If you're not coaching football?
Mm-hmm. Because Opelika is right down the road.
Opelika, man. Woo, Ben. Dude, I can't wait for the summer so I can travel to Opelika. Dude. Man, sign me up, Ben. Opelika, man? Wow.
Auburn looks 10 times different and better than Tuscaloosa was my point.
Nashville is a place you want to live if you're not coaching. Knoxville is a place you want to live if you're not coaching.
Gainesville is not a place that I want to live. Gainesville is
absolutely not.
Literally a swamp.
Athens, I can say yes. It's right down the road from Atlanta. It's
I've never been to
city.
Athens.
Athens, I can say yes. I can definitely say yes to Columbia. I can definitely say yes to there. It's
which Columbia? We got Missouri and then South Carolina.
South Carolina.
I don't want to live in Missouri.
Not Missouri.
No offense to my aunt and uncle.
Yeah, South Carolina. Fayetteville's a nice city. I don't personally want to live there, but it is nice.
Let me add, I've got two for you.
It's nice. It's nice there. I ain't gonna lie.
Do you, Jason Swain, want to move you and your family to Starkville, Mississippi? Or Oxford, Mississippi?
Dude, I don't want to go to Mississippi, period.
I know, that's my point.
I'm good on that. There's nothing in Mississippi that I want to go do. I'll take that back. Tunica.
Fair enough. I've never been to Baton Rouge, so I can't comment on that one.
Baton Rouge is a place that's nice that you could live if you don't coach. Absolutely. I mean, there's a few in the SEC. Tennessee is one of those. Knoxville is one of those cities. So,
and one of the better ones. Not just one of them, but one of the better ones. I'd say top 2 or top 3.
You want big attendance? Stop playing. Stop playing. Go for it. Go do it. Go put it together. Next year, man, do a concert.
Let's get Dolly Parton to sing Rocky Top before the game.
Whatever, man. Whatever it takes.
Like Bo says on the text box.
If it's really that important, we have the resources to make it a huge event. Have a concert right there, right by the Knoxville Convention Center outside, man. It would be awesome.
It would.
Book Slapper Boy or something. I'm just kidding.
Eric Berry.
But you really could do a nice concert there. Hour 3 powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Stay with us. Health assessment today. Whether you have sleep apnea and need a CPAP or have low testosterone or low thyroid levels, Low T Center will get you feeling great again. If you're a man over 30 and haven't had an annual checkup, don't wait until you feel bad. Do yourself a favor and get a quick and easy health assessment today. Services are covered by most health insurance. Call 865-392-1388 or go to lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ is the best place in Knoxville to scratch your barbecue itch. With new specials and a new menu, there is something for everyone. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, try the Smokehouse Stew. Thursday through Sunday, the Hillbilly Chili is where it's at. Don't forget the half-price wings on Tuesdays from 4 to 8 p.m. and the salmon plate on Friday. The people spoke and Dead End listened, adding Dead End Society favorites like the Bernie Mac, Randall's Kitchen Sink Burrito, and the Barbecue Cheddar Meatloaf to the menu full time. Whether it's a game day or any day, at Dead End Barbecue, the mouth-watering barbecue search is over.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? Then call me, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904. Listen to what the Tarver family had to say.
Jennifer was our realtor recently and helped us find our dream home. She also helped us sell our home, and we had a signed contract in only 2 days. Her greatest strengths are her patience and personality. We never felt pressured, and I would highly recommend her in buying and selling a home.
Call me, Jennifer Morris, at 865-694-5904 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
It's freezing in here, Mary. What's wrong with your heater? The repairman can't get here till next week. Sugar, you've got the wrong guy. My guy is fast and has free heating service calls when he does the repair.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Hiller. Take advantage of a free service call with any repair.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
Eight 865-255-03 is our telephone number. B-Drive Waterproofing Hotline. Hour 3 is powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. Let me read. Let's go to the phones first. Let's get to Jay this morning on the hotline. Jay, good morning.
Hey, Swain, good morning, buddy.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, let me ask you something. We do really well, and we've done really well in recruiting with this staff in football, I think, and we seem to recruit, this year, too, coming up. It looks like we're going to have another great offensive line class, but how do you feel about our defensive line recruiting thus far? I feel like, there's some – we had some good in-state defensive linemen that it looked like maybe Pruitt just wasn't that interested in, but they ended up going to Georgia and South Carolina. But how do you think our defensive line recruiting is going so far? Because it seems like that's a area of concern in spring practice.
It is an area of concern. You're relying a lot on JUCO players, and that's just the position that we're in because you lost a lot of seniors last year. What happened, though, with some of the defensive linemen, remember, guys like Bill Norton, when Pruitt got the job, it was already a wrap for Tennessee. You wasn't going to get back in it with him. Zion Logue, you had a chance to get him, but because we did not offer him fast enough, I guess, he felt a certain type of way, and he went to Georgia's camp, and they liked him and offered him, and then he just loved Georgia. And when we offered him, I guess it was too late. silly to me, but whatever. It's the way it is right now. And you slow play some other guys, and it costs you. Let's keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
So the defensive line haul could have been a little bit better. I think they felt like they had a big chance with Justin Eboigbe. They really felt like he could flip to Tennessee from Alabama, but he felt more comfortable going to Alabama, and so he got the cold feet and stuck it out with Bama. So the need in this class is clear, and that's to go out and get the best defensive lineman that you possibly can.
I do think although Tennessee missed out on its top defensive line targets from a year ago, they were happy with who they brought in Savion Williams and Darrell Middleton. I think they really like Elijah Simmons. I think Roman Harrison has the potential to be really good at Tennessee. But like Swain said, they have to go out and get some dogs on the defensive line this recruiting cycle, and I think they will. They got Tyler Barron, who is now at Knoxville Catholic, who transferred from Innsworth, I believe. And then there's Reggie Grimes at Mount Juliet. He's a 5-star, number 3 player, or number 3 defensive end in the country. And then there's Jay Hardy from Chattanooga. He plays at Macaulay School, and he's a high-level 4-star, top 100 player. So I do think they'll bring in some big-time defensive linemen in this class, along with the offensive line guys that you hinted at when you started your call.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, their offensive line ain't been a problem. But, well, one more question, guys. When I saw J.J. Peterson's film in high school, I mean, you could see why everybody in the country wanted him. And I know when he came in last year, it was a tough spot, and he needed to get himself in shape. But whenever I hear still people talk about him, like currently, it's kind of lukewarm. I mean, is he having trouble? Is he not impressing? Like, I mean, we know some of the highly rated kids just don't translate to college, but it just doesn't seem to be he's getting the reception that I thought he would.
He needs to turn it up, Jay. He needs to turn it up. Yeah, man.
Dang.
This ain't Colquitt County. It's not high school. This is SEC football. Every single day, you got to be either the lion or the gazelle. Because if you're not, either you're gonna starve or you're gonna be eaten, and that's what happens sometimes with some of these guys that come in from good programs, and they're the top dog, and they're highly rated. You got to have that same hunger when you come in. I'm not saying that J.J. Peterson is not hungry, but I am saying he should be a little bit further along than he is right now. I think we can say that.
I got high hopes for him, Swain.
Yeah, me too.
I hope it can work out, man. We need him.
Yep, no doubt about it. We can't afford to miss on anyone. Like we are right now the freaking we're like the Knicks right now. Oh yeah, we're like the Knicks. Story franchise that has to hit on every single person that we bring in because we're trying to rebuild. We're not the Spurs. We're not the Warriors. We're not those teams that, they're pretty set. So if they get a class of guys and 1 or 2, 3 doesn't work or whatever, cool, whatever. We're not the Patriots where they got 7 picks and 2 or 3 don't work out, cool, whatever, because you still got everything intact. No, we're trying to rebuild. So it's very important that we hit a home run on most of the guys that we bring in, 85% or better. We can't afford to strike out because we're in this position because we struck out way too many times. We've had players leave, we've had players get hurt, and that's not anyone's fault. That's just part of the game. We've had 3 or 4 guys have to retire, and then we have one that's in danger of retiring. Okay, we've had guys who were 5 stars on high school films, and they look like walk-ons when they get here. So all of those are considered strikeouts. Some of those are our fault. Some of them, not our fault. But we got to do a better job with our hitting percentage there when it comes to recruiting. There's no doubt about it.
You don't have to bat 1,000 either. You're not going to bat 1,000. Nobody in the country bats 1,000. Alabama, Georgia, Florida State, Oklahoma, Ohio State, they don't bat 1,000. You just need to be hitting 600% or 60%, I'd say.
You have to, man. You really, really have to. And we're in a position where I think we have to be a little bit better than that because, again, we're trying to overhaul the roster. We're trying to flip the roster. We don't have time to strike out.
Nope.
Every single player is very, very important. So J.J. Peterson, man, he gotta go.
I thought Austin Price's comments when asked about J.J. Peterson on Tuesday when we had him on the show were very telling. That, I mean, the guy kind of maybe gets hit a little bit harder than he wants to be hit, and he doesn't push through the drill all that well. That was concerning to me.
Dude, that's the one position where you can't feel that way.
No.
That and safety.
Correct.
Because
every play that you are in on, you're going to feel that way.
Yeah, and I'm saying linebacker and safety even more than defensive tackle because we saw Dan McCullers be successful here, and Dan McCullers struggled to have a high motor. And Dan McCullers has gotten 2 NFL contracts with your Steelers. You can be big, strong, and
aggressive,
not be aggressive, and still make it. But a linebacker, you 5 or 6 yards behind line of scrimmage, so you gotta come up and strike someone. Safety, you got 10 to 12 yards, and you really have to come up and strike someone. You gotta love contact, and when you get hit hard a little bit, you can't shy away from it. You can't be bothered by it. So I'll say he just needs to turn it up. And that's I'll just keep it at that.
But at this point in his football career, just playing football, I imagine all of his life, I'm sure he played before high school ball at Colquitt County. I mean, that's more of a personality trait, isn't it? Than a football attribute. Like I almost think that I don't know if you can change that because that's somebody's personality. It's going to take a lot more to change somebody's personality and make them, quite frankly, tougher.
I mean, he was striking folks in high school.
Yeah,
these dudes are just big and strong, just like he is.
Exactly, and that's what Austin Price said, and that's the problem is that in high school he's bigger than everybody, so he probably doesn't feel the nicks and the bruises as much as he does now. I don't know. To me, that's more of a personality trait than a football trait.
Well, I don't know, like how much he goes to the training room and how much he does the prehab work and the maintenance work, and that's the stuff that you do in the training room when you don't get hurt. Like most people think that the guys who have sprained ankles and bum shoulders and tore up knees, those are the people who are only in the training room, and that's not the case. I learned a lot from guys like Tony Brown and Kevin Burnett, Kevin Simon, guys like that. They were not hurt, but they still were in their training room getting extra work done, doing prehab work, doing work with the bands with their shoulders, doing getting extra stretching, getting in the hot tub. That's the maintenance stuff that you have to do as a student athlete in the SEC. And as a young player, you don't really understand that. You think, oh, I'm not hurt, I don't need to be in there. I don't like to be in there. Or you know, I'm not practicing, I don't have class, so I don't have anything to do. No, there's always something to do. And you understand that when you get older. You can always either watch film or go to the training room and become more flexible, work on, you know, maybe a little strain that you have, a little discomfort that you may have. You can always do something. And if I had to give a player any advice, you got 4 years. Don't ever go back to your dorm with anything in the bucket. Always empty the bucket. Always, every single day, man. Go to the training room. Do extra work on the field. Do extra work in the training room. Every single day, do something. If you finish your day and you're like, man, I could have done a little bit more, then you're wasting opportunity. You're wasting opportunity. If you have dreams of playing at the next level. If you don't, then go play Fortnite if you want to, I guess.
How dare you? You see professional athletes live with that regret because I hear athletes in interviews all the time say that they wish they would have done more with the bands and the pre-practice stuff earlier in their career. I promise you, if you go and ask 10 athletes their biggest regret from their career, 6 or 7 of them will say that they didn't take their bodies seriously enough at the beginning of their careers. They waited too long. It's why Vince Carter is playing basketball at 42 years old, because he did that stuff.
Pro athletes, I know, I don't drop Mayo invested in the hyperbaric chamber. Turk McBride bought his own. It's a device called Game Ready, and it's basically it's a machine. You put it on your knee, your ankle, and it's a compression, and it ices your muscles. And those guys invested in those medical devices. Those same things are in top college football training rooms. But when you're a pro, you understand that your body is your moneymaker, and so you do your own maintenance at home. Well, guess what, SEC football player? You ain't too far away from being a pro. You're right there. The only difference is you just can't get paid. But you have access to the same equipment, and you got to use it, even when you're not hurt. That's the difference. Swain Event.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
You're driving home, flashing blue lights in your rearview mirror. You pull over, step out of your car, and the next thing you know, you're being arrested for driving under the influence. Now what do? We all should be responsible, but remember, just because you're arrested doesn't mean you're guilty. Call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza at 865-540-8300. The investigative teams at the Garza Law Firm know the justice system inside and out. They utilize cutting-edge technologies and investigative methods to prepare your specific case. Before you plead guilty to any criminal charges, call criminal defense and DUI attorney Marcos Garza. Put his number in your phone right now, 865-540-8300, because you never know when you or a friend will need it. Don't say guilty. Say Garza. 865-540-8300. 865-540-8300 and GarzaLaw.com.
We have all made the mistake of dropping or breaking our smartphones. See? But did you know that you can have it repaired for a fraction of the cost it takes to replace it? Well, you can, because iDrop is the area's leading mobile repair store, home of the 1 hour or less phone repair, 1 year parts warranty, and #1 customer service. Broken screens, cracked cameras, charging ports, batteries, you break it, we'll fix it. If you didn't break your phone, protect it with one of our leading accessories such as LifeProof, OtterBox, UAG, Incipico, Caseology, and Spec. Visit our West Hills location at 7115 Kingston Pike between Office Depot and Hardee's, or call 865-888-9740 and speak with our trained technicians to see how we can get your phone working today.
Goes your car insurance. Nobody likes surprises, so switch to Erie Rate Lock. Get a great rate that stays that way even after an accident, ticket, or inflation. In fact, it's locked until you change a car, driver, or your address.
Your Erie agent in Knoxville is InsureFit RM. Get a quote at 865-684-4900. That's 865-684-4900.
Erie Rate Lock does not guarantee continued insurance coverage and is not available in all states.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
(865-255-03), Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. 850 AM, 100.9 FM, Rocky Top Sports. Glad that you are with us this morning. Ben McKee, Jason Swain, here on a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Thursday.
I wish it was going to look like this weekend.
It's supposed to rain tonight and tomorrow, right?
I think I saw Friday and Saturday.
As long as it doesn't rain next weekend, I think we're good. I will sacrifice a rainy day today or a rainy day on Saturday to have a sunny day next week, because I do not want a 2017 spring game where it was rained out and it was just canceled. True transparency pricing is what you get at Hiller. That is Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. You can follow them on Twitter at Happy Hiller. Great deals right now. More importantly, you get what you pay for, and you are told the truth, and you know what's going on. 15,000 people plus have given customer reviews on their experience with Hiller, and they have a 4.8 customer rating. You don't get that by accident. You get that by doing things the right way the first time. You get that by offering and delivering on the best price with the best service, and you get that by being available, getting there as fast as possible when you are called. And that's Hiller. They serve Tennessee. They serve Memphis to Knoxville, all the way in between, and Bowling Green, Huntsville, Alabama, Bowling Green, Kentucky, Huntsville, Alabama. That is Hiller. Let me go to the text box. Ken has been active on the text box today.
You don't say.
I will say, we talked during Attaboy, we gave props to the school district that packed up cafeteria food that was not used and sent it home with kids that have trouble finding meals on the weekend. And Ken said that, which one is it? Kids starving or kids obese? And, it came across as a little ignorant, a little insensitive or whatever. But Ken came back and said, I'm with you, Swain. I understand that some parents are sorry and those kids need help. And certainly any program that feeds the kids who need help rather than just throwing food away and wasting it is great. Just common sense. Something that is very lacking in most school systems. My comments were directed at how media discusses and frames both issues in a political narrative. Listen, we ain't doing politics. I shared the story with you so you can see that good things are happening around the country. And again, Ken, both can be true. You don't need any stats to know that folks fat out here in these streets. Simple as that. And I know I'm definitely one of them and doing something about it. We live in the South, and you can turn on every corner. There's a restaurant.
We were talking about barbecue during the break.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we were talking about, Cookeville yesterday, how, I forgot the exit there, and I forgot the name of the street, but, it's like every restaurant in the state was right there. Mm-hmm. And it's the reason why salads cost $15 and burgers cost 99 cents. It's a reason why folks gotten big. And so you don't need any stats to know that. You can go to Walmart and go look around. Just go people watch. Man, we big. We big. And childhood obesity is real, and child hunger is real. So both can be true, Ken. Both can be true. Ken did come back with something that has to do with sports, and he says Tennessee set a record for orange and white game attendance in 1986 after the Sugar Vols beat Miami. So the orange and white game attendance has been a thing back 30 years, not just between 2010 and 2015.
I know Ken likes to poke holes in everything I say, but that 86 spring game was an outlier. Well, I guess technically it was the 87 spring game because that was following the Sugar Vols.
It was the 86 spring game. It was the 86 spring game that had 73,000 people at the game.
And it was an outlier.
Yes. In the year before, the 85 spring game, they had 12,000. And then the year after the 73,000, they had 12,000 again. And so, yes, we have seen, just looking at these numbers, the teams that have won the most since 1984 They have not gotten the numbers that they deserve in the spring game. Here's something also to consider. The spring game wasn't always free either. Spring game used to cost a little bit of money, but let's be honest, $5 is not a lot of money to go to a spring game. Now, it's certainly better than free, but it ain't like it's the same price as game day tickets. So what we've seen since 2010, man, these numbers have not dipped below 25,000 people. In 2010 to 2019, no one's bragging about how great we were in football. Well, why is that? Well, because recruiting puts an emphasis on spring game numbers. You have social media. You have more effort put into marketing. You're hiring marketing dudes inside your football program now. We have folks on our staff that was brought here just for Twitter and creative design.
That's
different.
Yeah, just not a Tennessee football thing. That's a society thing. There are so many organizations that hire people just to run their social media accounts. Every single professional team has not a person, a group, a team of people running their social media account, posting videos, graphics, edits, tweeting during the games.
Yeah.
Quotes sometimes.
Yeah. So, Ken, you talking about 1 year. 1 year of 73,000, which is the record, but 84 spring game, 6,000 people. 85, 12,000. 87, 12,000. 88, 31,000. That's good. But here we go. 89, 11,000. 15,090. 91, 8,000. 92, you got a new coach. New full-time coach. 16,000. 93, 22,000. 94, 10,000. 95, 19,000. 96, 22,000. 97, 18,000. 98, 12,000. 15,000 for 99. And this team won a national championship. Times change. Times change. There's more effort that's put forward for big spring game numbers, even to inflate them if you have to. Oh, because Tennessee ain't the only school that inflates numbers. Other schools do it too because of perception. It looks good, right? Looks good. Justin says, us Cookville locals call it Restaurant Row. And that's called Interstate Drive. That's right. Yeah.
And he also said that they have more restaurants on the way.
Do you have any room?
I guess they're extending.
Well, you know, there might be some room because we went to that Publix over there, and that Publix looked brand new. That Academy looks like he was just open because it still had a now open sign on the billboard there. So, yeah, I'm sure there's more coming. But my goodness, my point is there's a reason why we big. We are big, man. We big. We big, Ken. There's no room in here. Nah, you just big in here. Friday. Educate yourselves. Hour 3 continues after this.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Today looks to be cloudy with a high of 74. There is a 90% chance of rain tonight with a low of 53. Showers likely tomorrow with the high near 70 and a low around 53. The sun returns on Saturday with a high in the upper 70s. Weather on the Swain Event is brought to you by Be Dry. If your basement is wet or cracked, Be Dry can help. BeDry.com.
Do you have sloping or uneven floors, foundation cracks, or a leaning chimney? Do your windows and doors not open properly, or are there gaps where the floor and walls meet? Don't worry, B-Dry offers approved foundation repair solutions like steel I-beams, helical piering, epoxy injections, carbon fiber applications, and more. Make sure that your home is on stable ground with B-Dry. Call them at 865-588-0454 or find them online at bdry.com. Thinking about trying CBD oil but not sure where to get it or who to trust for a quality supplement? Our friends at Tennessee Valley Hemp Company invite you to try their full spectrum hemp extract, available in 500 milligram and 1000 milligram strengths. They are a local company based right here in Knoxville whose crops are grown in East Tennessee. Their farmers are committed to cultivating pharmaceutical grade hemp oil that produces results. It is only available in community pharmacies where you can get questions answered by experienced professionals. If you are unsure whether or not it's okay to take hemp extract with your existing medications, pharmacists are happy to perform interaction checks that keep you safe and healthy. You can find out more by visiting or calling any of these local drugstores. Gordon's Drugstore in Carnes, Vaughn's Drugstore in Powell, Stanford Drugs in New Tazewell, or Farragut Pharmacy in Farragut. Check them out on Facebook at Tennessee Valley Hemp Company, and don't forget to hit the like button. When you buy, remember to ask for the only hemp oil that supports your health and the Power T. Tennessee Valley Hemp Company. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
VFL's Jason Swain and Todd Kelly here with our Men on Football and Smoothie segment. Let's discuss some of our favorite smoothies and how they impact our lives. TK, man, tell me which smoothie comes to mind when you think about playing defense?
Swain-O, the Peanut Butter Power Plus and the Power Punch Plus provide the energy needed to make plays every time they take the field. Then you have the Gladiator and the Hawk, nutrition every dominant player has to have. Bottom line, everyone wants to be a dominant player. Now, Swain, you tell me about the offensive side of the ball.
TK, it's simple. You always score with Smoothie King. The shredder personifies what we are going to do to opposing defenses. The Berry Punch and Activator will light up the scoreboard. And in case we need to go into overtime, the Pure Recharge will put us over the top for the win.
Swain-O, you know I love football and Smoothie King. I'm a VFL, a Smoothie King for life. The Chocolate Gladiator and the Chocolate Shredder with the scoop of peanut butter, oh, that's my go-to smoothie. They get a chest bump all day.
Yes, sir. This concludes our Men on Football and Smoothie King segment for today. Don't forget the Sip by Sip program. Use Smoothie King as a meal replacement 5 or more times a week and you will feel and see the difference. Smoothie King, the healthy alternative to fast food. Delicious and nutritious. TK.
Don't forget the peanut butter. Yeah, boy.
If you aren't following the Swain Event on Twitter, then are you even on Twitter? Hit that follow button. It's the right thing to do.
When your best friend moves for a better job, you're happy for them, but selfishly you wish they would stay. Hey, John. Hey, Bill. Hey, man, just want to let you know, dude, we got a job offer for, got to move to Nashville, or got to move to Memphis. Betsy and the kids, we're gonna take it.
I had a friend recently interview for a job in Washington, D.C., and I was low-key hoping he'd find a different job in Huntsville, and thankfully he found a better job in Huntsville. I was very happy, selfishly.
Here's the fake excitement. Oh, that's good.
I was
Your
like,
voice starts to cry. That's good.
I'm gonna miss you.
That's good. That's awesome.
I was like, oh yeah, that's awesome. I'm excited for you.
You happy for them getting a chance to get a better job and take care of their family, and that's cool, advance in their career. But selfishly, you want them to stay. That's how we feel about Jordan Bone. He's going to the NBA. He made that known yesterday. We would love to have him back. Why? Because he's good and he makes our team good. New rules will apply here with all these players making their decision to go to NBA. Well, because there's so much corruption with the basketball game, the men's game, the NCAA knew they had to do something to change it and be more transparent. There's a lot of money at stake. So rules will change. You can hire an agent and still come back. Ben, you got the info right there.
I mean, you pretty much said what the NCAA changed over the summer, that high school basketball recruits and college players can now hire an agent to help them make informed decisions about going pro. Previously, players who hired an agent lost their eligibility. A couple other changes that they made that may pertain to Mr. Jordan Bone. Collegiate players will now be able to participate in the NBA draft, yet return to school if they are undrafted. Previously, players could declare for the draft and attend the NBA scouting combine, but had to withdraw their name from the draft no more than 10 days after the combine to retain eligibility. So, according to this, if Jordan Bone goes undrafted, he could return to school. And then prospective player agents must be certified by an NCAA program with standards for behavior and consequences for violations. Division I schools will be required to pay for tuition and related expenses for men's and women's basketball players who leave school and return later to earn their degree. And then the last one, players will now be able to make more, well, this doesn't have to deal with him, but make more official campus visits paid for by the school, which can begin as soon as the summer before their junior year. That was a recruiting rule change.
You can hire an agent, but yeah, probably can't take an advance.
No.
And then come back to school. You probably can't do that. And if you were an agent, you would probably be really stupid to give a kid an advance without it being documented.
Correct.
Because you might lose that money. Because now it's a whole year of you having to wait before you really can sign him and make any money off of your client. So for those who are like, man, did he sign up with an agent yet? It doesn't matter. He can sign with one and still return according to the new NCAA rules. So at the end of the day, I want what's best for Jordan Bone. I want him to be the best player he could be. I don't care if it's at Tennessee or in the NBA. When you have a young man that has worked as hard as he has and who has the guidance that he has from his brother Josh and his father, who also play college basketball, man, you want guys like that to be successful. You really do. And I don't care if it's at Tennessee or NBA. I want it to be at both because he's been successful at Tennessee. You know, he was not one of the highest rated point guards coming in. He has worked his tail off, and he's been fortunate. This is an F word I want you to remember on the way out today. He's been fortunate to be coached by Rick Barnes. And we are fortunate to have Rick Barnes because we're not in the same stratosphere as far as a basketball program is UCLA. But UCLA got told no by Calipari, and they are now possibly going to hire Jamie Dixon. Jamie Dixon's a good coach, don't get me wrong. But when you think of UCLA, you think of you getting the best of the best of the best. And Jamie Dixon and Rick Barnes, to me, they right there in the same group, if you ask me. One is UCLA, and the other is Tennessee. So, we're fortunate to have Rick Barnes, and Jordan Bone's fortunate to be coached by Rick Barnes. Because all good players are not coached by good coaches. For Ben McKee, I am Jason Swain. Hope you have a great Thursday. 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll be back to wrap up the show for the week. Peace and love. We're out.
In debt? In too deep? Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union says, stop treading water and get out of the deep end. If you